Offensively, there's still room for improvement. Who will Leak look to today as his go-to guy? Defensively, Florida dominated. Class is back in session. Florida, Louisiana Tech, next on Sun Sports.
It is a hot September afternoon in the Swamp in Gainesville at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. It's time for college football on Sun Sports. The Florida Gators host the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. And hello, everybody, and welcome. Along with Nat Moore, I'm David Steele. Thanks for watching tonight as Florida takes on Louisiana Tech. Game number 2 for the Gators. They were impressive last week against Wyoming, Nat. For Louisiana Tech, this is a football team that's been dealing with things much more important than football. Hurricane Katrina ripping their state. How do they stay focused tonight?
Well, David, it's been a tough 2 weeks for these young men. Right after the hurricane, they spent Tuesday and Wednesday trying to relocate their families. Over 30 of these young men, families were directly affected by Hurricane Katrina. Well, when you look at today, it's an opportunity to forget about that. For the next 4 hours, they have a chance to play football, put that behind them, and have some fun.
And as Florida football team is concerned, obviously they're thrilled to be playing a home game for the second consecutive week. Very impressive in many respects against Wyoming last week, Nat. What most impressed you about Florida's team last week?
The defense. They were spectacular. They had 4 sacks. They got 2 takeaways, held Wyoming to 222 yards of total offense. They got after it. On the other hand, offensively, we were able to throw the football effectively. Chad Jackson had a monster of a game. He had 10 receptions, 138 yards, 3 touchdowns. This is a guy that knows how to put the ball into the end zone. When he gets his hands on the football, you can look for 6. On the other hand, we didn't run the football well, David, and this is the day that the offensive line has got to get some movement, and we've got to get some balance in the running attack.
All right, Nat, that's one of our key storylines we'll be following today for the Gators. Very uneven running attack last week against Wyoming. Will the arrival of Deshaun Wynn in the lineup help the running game today? That's one of our storylines we'll be following. Florida's defensive line was active and aggressive last week against Wyoming. It'll be important for them to stop the run against Louisiana Tech today. And the Gators have not returned a punt or a kick for a touchdown since 2000. Will that change today in the Swamp, where the Gators are set to take on the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech? Game number 2 in the Swamp. We'll be back on Sun Sports.
At Steak and Shake, we're a restaurant. A working lunch shouldn't mean carrying your own tray. The secret ingredient in our milkshakes? Ironically, milk.
Steak and Shake. The fountain never sleeps. When I go to Publix, I get more than just groceries. It's also where I get advice. You see, every time I visit my friends in the Publix meat department, they always have plenty of great menu suggestions and helpful cooking tips. Plus, if I have a special request, they always deliver. So out of all the different people who help me in the Publix meat department, the one thing that's always the same is the great service.
Publix, where serving you has been our pleasure for 75 years.
As the sweltering days of summer come to pass, the time comes for an event so momentous it can't be missed. The Toyota Time Clearance Event. To get a great deal, you have to start with great vehicles like Tacoma, the Motor Trend 2005 Truck of the Year. Or check out the Tundra Double Cab with the available XSP Sport Package. Offers extended. With available cash back and the Sport Package discount, get $4,000 in total savings. Catch astonishing Labor Day values now. When it comes to deals like these, everyone wins. That's moving you forward.
College football on Sun Sports is brought to you in part by Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer. Turn the key, start a revolution. And by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. We are back in the Swamp in Gainesville. It's almost time for the opening kick. The Gators and the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech. David Steele along with Nat Moore, and let's check in with the third man of our broadcast team, Steve Babick, on the sideline.
Before the season began, Urban Meyer wanted to make Florida's kickoff return and punt return teams special again. He did not like what he saw last year on videotape, and the stats bore that out. Well, after the Wyoming game, he's convinced now more than ever that his kickoff return team and punt return team can make big plays, control field position, and score. Look back to last week against Wyoming. Bubba Caldwell, 47-yard kickoff return. On the punt return team, Vernell Brown returned one for 22 yards. This group can be an impact group and control field position and score some points, and they can make special teams special again. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, thank you, Steve. As the teams get set for the opening kick, you're looking at the head coach from Louisiana Tech, Jack Bicknell, a familiar name in college football. His father, the former head coach at Boston College, and Bicknell, the head coach here at Louisiana Tech, in his 7th year as head coach of that football team. And Urban Meyer, of course, in his first year as head coach at the University of Florida, coming off a 32-14 win against Wyoming from the Mountain West Conference. And today, his Florida Gators taking on Louisiana Tech from the Western Athletic Conference. And then the Gators get into conference action next week here in Gainesville against the University of Tennessee. It has been a long time since the Gators have lost a game to an unranked football team here in the Swamp. The last team to defeat the Gators in Gainesville, unranked, was Ole Miss back in the early 90s. And Florida here in Gainesville is 65-1 against unranked football teams since 1990. Very impressive last week in their win against Wyoming, although Urban Meyer had plenty of things to work on with his football team after an uneven performance on the offensive side of the ball. Got to run the ball today, as you pointed out.
And he talked about that right after the ball game, because you know that to be effective and to get to where you're trying to go, you've got to have balance. And last week they didn't run the ball exceptionally well. The offensive line didn't get much movement. This week, you know that you can throw the football, but you've got to get that running game established.
That spread option offense that Urban Meyer and his offensive coordinator Dan Mullen came up with about 5 or 6 years ago, being copied by a lot of teams around the world of college football, including Louisiana Tech. We'll see some elements of the spread option today from Jack Bicknell's football team. A team that has really been through it the last couple of weeks, affected by Hurricane Katrina, although Ruston, Louisiana is about 450 miles from New Orleans in north central Louisiana, about 35 miles from the Arkansas border. Still affected in many ways. Eric Wilbur kicks off, and it's fielded by Franklin at the 5-yard line. And he is swarmed under at the 19. Excellent coverage for the Gators, as Urban Meyer stressing that special teams play, and a good start this afternoon for Florida.
Tackled at the 20-yard line.
Louisiana Tech's offense led by a 5th-year senior quarterback, Matt Kubik. You see his numbers from last year. He's a 5th-year senior out of Youngstown, Ohio. Started 9 times last year. Started the year as the #1 quarterback, then lost his job to Donald Allen. Allen suffered an injury. Kubik got it back, and then Allen played some late in the year. We'll see both of those quarterbacks here tonight against Florida. Florida's 4-man front. And the ball is on the ground. Let's see what the call is going to be. Nope, it's going to be recovered by Louisiana Tech. Kyle Jackson with a solid hit on Franklin. Let's take a look at our keys to the game, brought to you in part by Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer. Turn the keys, start a revolution, and by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers.
Well, offensively, the Gators would like to have a balanced attack. Defensively, they got to avoid big plays. They don't want to give up any big plays defensively. And for Louisiana Tech, they want a quick strike. They want also to be able to stop the run, make the Gators one-dimensional by forcing them to have to throw the football.
And a good second down play for the Gator defense. They get tremendous pressure. Reggie Nelson. Excellent coverage for Florida. That'll bring up 3rd down and 3. The Bulldogs try to throw for the first down on 2nd and short. And now quarterback Matt Kubik brings his team to the line of scrimmage at their 27-yard line. And it is 3rd and 3. Kubik throwing, the pass caught and then dropped and recovered by King, and then he lost it, and I think the Gators have it at the Bulldog 25-yard line. Yep, they've got it. Florida takes control.
Early in the ball game, the Gators come with a turnover as Kubik is able to complete the pass to his receiver, but a nice job by Nelson of getting a hand in there, swatting the ball out, knocking it away from the receiver, number 2, Freddie King. Gators get the football. Great field position.
And King kind of panicked after he let the ball get away from him, and good alert play by the Gator defense. Chris Leak last week tied a school record with 17 consecutive completions, but did not earn membership in Urban Meyer's Champions Club because of problems running the spread option offense. That play is going to be under review. The fumble is under review, so they might try and figure out, Nat, that this was an incomplete pass.
Well, and the thing that they're going to be looking at, and we must tell our viewers that this comes from upstairs where there's 3 officials, where one will make a decision whether he had possession of the football. Does the receiver have possession of the football before the ball is knocked out of there by Nelson?
Let's
take
another look from that last angle, Nat. It looked like he did not have possession.
Right there, he's got possession. He starts to run, and a nice job by Reggie Nelson of reaching in there, knocking the ball out of the hands of the receiver, Freddie King.
So a reviewable play.
Here's another look at it right out here. This is what you're looking for. Now watch the left hand. Goes in, swats it out, and what they're looking for is to see if he had control. It must be definite. It cannot be where they assume undisputable evidence is what they're looking for. Otherwise, the play stands as called on the field.
And again, as you pointed out, the replay is asked for from the booth. It's not the officials on the field, and there it is, Nat.
Right up there.
All, blacked in.
That there was no possession on the pass. It is an incomplete pass. It will be 4th down and 3.
Well, the official, Jeff Robertson, disagrees with your assessment of the play. He says no possession on the pass, and it will be an incompletion.
And what does he know? Here's another look out here. Now, right here, he has possession, and as he starts to try and turn and run up, Reggie Nelson puts his hand in there, knocks it out. You know, it's a bim-bam type play. Here it is, right here. Now watch, ball's in. There he goes. Nice job. Could have been ruled either way, and Louisiana Tech catches a break.
Well, the idea of instant replay is to get it right.
That's for sure.
Maybe they had a better angle than what we saw, but it was a very, very close call to make.
And the thing to remember is we're looking at this in slow motion where the officials on the field have to make that split-second decision and make a call. So,
but then the replay officials are looking at it in slow motion.
Just like we are. And that's why they make the adjustment.
All right, Chris Cagle will punt the ball for Louisiana Tech. Redshirt freshman out of Baton Rouge. Vernell Brown standing deep. And Cagle hammers it. Brown backpedaling to his 28-yard line. And a tremendous play on special teams by Jonathan Holland, a wide receiver, one of the fastest players in college football, and he was down there in a hurry. Excellent punt, 45 yards and no return because of a terrific play by Holland.
The worst part was the pressure. Phone calls at home, phone calls at work, letters in the mail.
It was nice to help. Since Debt Free works with thousands of creditors, we got his interest lowered and his penalties eliminated.
Every day, thousands of people call Debt Free, a nonprofit organization.
I was snapping at everyone, on edge all the time. I just didn't know how to deal with it.
I think it was the first good news she'd heard in a long time. I explained everything Debt Free could do to help her, and we figured out she could pay off her debts in 5 years and still have money left over every month.
I wanted to do something I just didn't know where to start.
I showed her she could make just one monthly payment, and she didn't need to borrow money to do it.
Stop running from debt. Call Debt Free today.
I'm back to my old self. I'm glad I called Debt Free.
I'm not snapping at people anymore.
If you're overwhelmed by debt, gather your bills and call Debt Free now.
I'm getting out of debt, and I'm doing it myself. And I'm pretty proud of that.
Light up the night with Rec Warehouse College Kickoff. The only Friday night college football show in the nation. Live this week, we preview Urban's first taste of the SEC against the Vols. Plus, we'll take you inside the I-4 war when the Knights and Bulls meet for an interstate battle. Start your Chevy tailgate Saturday weekend with Rec Warehouse College Kickoff. Friday at 7, only on Sun Sports.
We're back in Gainesville at the Swamp. It's the Florida Gators and the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. Another sellout crowd on hand. The 98th consecutive sellout here in Gainesville. Immediately following today's game and every Gator game, turn to Sun Sports for exclusive post-game coverage, including Coach Urban Meyer's post-game press conference, player interviews, and highlights. Gator post-game tonight after the game exclusively right here on Sun Sports.
First down, Gators at their own
Florida
27.
quarterback Chris Leak, the junior out of Charlotte, North Carolina, had the impressive numbers last week, 26 out of 34 and 3 touchdowns, all 3 touchdown passes to Chad Jackson, and approaching 6,000 career yards here in just his 3rd season as a quarterback at the University of Florida. From the spread option, Keyston Moore is the starting running back in this Florida offense, the true freshman, number 33 out of Arlington, Texas, and he gets the handoff on first down. Florida determined to establish a running game, and they go straight to the running attack on first down to pick up only 2 yards on the play.
It's tough to run against big number 93, Ladarius Love. He's 6'4", 325-pound senior. This is a new defensive line, but a big guy to try and move out of there, David.
Well, it is a big front three. They play, there's Deshaun Wynn. They play a 3-4 defense as Wynn gets his first carry of the season. Flag is thrown in late. And Wynn picks up good yardage on second down. The 4th-year junior out of Cincinnati, Ohio. He's had an uneven career. Last year, injuries slowed him. He carried for just 217 yards. And in 03, 541 yards.
After the
7
play,
touchdowns.
personal foul. Number 84, offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. 3rd down.
Wow, that was a big one against the Gators. Tate Casey, the tight end. Florida was penalized only 4 times last Saturday against Wyoming, and a real point of pride for the football team, but a poor start in that category here today.
Well, that's called against Tate Casey. That's uncustomary for a guy like Tate Casey, a real heads-up player. Southmore tight end out of Longview, Texas.
It puts the Florida offense in a difficult position. It is 3rd down, 16 from the 21-yard line. And Leak finding Jackson, hoping he can make something big after the catch. And 4 or 5 of those white shirts from Louisiana Tech run him out of bounds at the 30-yard line. And Florida playing it safe on that 3rd down and long, and they'll just play a little field position early against Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, that's exactly what Urban Meyer wanted to do here, is not take a chance. There's no reason to do anything early, do anything crazy early in the ball game. You want to manage the football game, so you play field position, you pick up as many yards as you can, kick the ball away, and allow that defense, who's been playing great football, to come out and take control of the football game.
Eric Wilbur back to punt. Franklin back to return. A nice high spiral. Franklin catching it, stepping out of bounds at the 22-yard line. A superb punt by junior Eric Wilbur. No opportunity to run the ball back because Wilbur used that out-of-bounds line as his ally. A 48-yard punt with no return for the Bulldogs.
Against Wyoming, Eric Wilbur averaged 44.5 yards per kick. Did a nice job last week, and here you see him pinning the receiver into the sideline. he's also kicking off, David. The more things that you can do as we see Eric Wilbur not only punting, but also kicking off.
Very talented all-around athlete, doing a great job. Gators soccer will host Wisconsin-Milwaukee on Saturday, September 11th at 12:30. First 300 fans get Adidas hats, admission free at James Presley Coliseum. And it's first down for Louisiana Tech at their 21-yard line. Gators jumping, then Bulldogs jumping, and flags flying everywhere.
Before the ball was snapped. Ball start. Number 73 offense, number 84 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Gators started to show at the blitz, and in the process, Matt Kubik was trying to check off and held the snap count a little too long, David. His offensive line was ready to go.
Quarterback Matt Kubik, his team penalized back to the 16. And the handoff to Franklin. Franklin hit behind the line of scrimmage at the 16-yard line. Around the 15, fighting forward to the 16. Jeremy Mincy on the stop for the Gators.
Jeremy Mincy coming right down the line of scrimmage, sees the handoff, and then gets in and makes the tackle. Nice job of reading the quarterback, seeing the handoff by the defensive end, Jeremy Mincy, who had a big ball game last week with 6 tackles.
Yeah, that front 4 for the Gators with McDonald moving to the outside. Mincy on the other end, getting good pressure, had 4 quarterback sacks against Wyoming last week. And it took him 3 weeks to get 4 quarterback sacks last year. Kubik throwing over the middle. It is incomplete. Good coverage by Jarvis Herring. The free safety coming up swiftly.
The thing that I've noticed this year in the first 2 ball games is defensively they're getting across the line of scrimmage. They're making everything happen on the offensive side of the football versus getting pushed off of the football, especially in passing situations.
Nickel secondary, 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers for the Gators on 3rd down and 16. And on the handoff, it's Dillard, the ball carrier, to the 21. The gain of 5, but far short of a first down. McCullough, Herring, Florida's defense off to another good start here tonight. Scoreless football game, 11:30 remaining in the first period, and Louisiana Tech will punt for the 2nd time tonight. Urban Meyer's offense set back by a personal foul on their first offensive sequence. And a little shift going on by the Gators as Burnell Brown shifting back there. And he's going to field the Cagle punt at the 41-yard line. Again, terrific coverage by Louisiana Tech. He's brought down at the 42. A 38-yard punt, couple of yards on the return, and Florida advancing about 15 yards in terms of field position on the exchange of punts. They'll start this offensive series near their 43-yard line. A scoreless tie from the swamp in the first period.
When you sit in Orlando Highlights Racebook, the fast-paced action of the world's fastest game seems to jump off the screen. Catch every single throw. You will see it, you will feel it. Then there's the horses. Thoroughbreds are harnessed, streaking out of the starting gate, racing to a winning finish. Seen like you've never seen it. It's simulcasting at its best, and you'll love it. Come to Orlando Highline Racebook. You'll have the time of your life.
Chevy's proud to have the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And Suburban, ranked highest in initial quality. We've always broken the rules. Now we're rewriting them with the Chevy employee discount for everyone. You pay what we pay, not a cent more. Get an 05 Silverado half-ton extended cab with an MSRP of $28,880 for a Chevy employee discount price of $21,610 after cash back. See your Southern Chevy dealers.
Albert.
Sun Sports is brought to you in part by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horn. Dodge. And by the Alachua County Visitors and Convention Bureau, where nature and culture meet. First quarter, Florida getting the ball for the second time here this evening. No score in the football game. The Gators, Nat, on the punt return. An interesting little twist here.
Yeah, this is Vernell Brown out here. And right here, this corner is going to sneak in and try and get in and rush. Avery Atkins is back here. He's going to come up and he's going to drop back. But the idea is to try and show return and then go for the block. Now you watch the Gator chicken. Now watch Avery. And then all of a sudden, Vernell Brown is back as the returner. And you would hope he would fair catch it, but that's not in his repertoire, David.
Nope, not in the game plan for Vernell, apparently. Deshaun Wynn over midfield. Wynn to the 30, to the 20. The big, strong man out of Cincinnati, Ohio, all the way down to the Louisiana Tech 7-yard line. He's got speed, he's got power, and he showed a little bit of both on that play.
Well, this is just great blocking by the entire left side of the offensive line, and then Deshaun Wynn does the rest as he breaks the would-be tackle. Here's another look. This is why everybody loves Deshaun Wynn. He has those big, strong legs, runs through those arm tackles, and comes very close to taking this the distance as Mike DeGoria, the center, is downfield trying to lead him.
And it's 1st and goal for the Gators, and the give is to Wynn again. Battering inside the 5 to the Louisiana Tech 3-yard line is Deshaun Wynn. Tremendous talent. A highly recruited player out of Cincinnati in 2001, Ron Zook's first recruiting year, and a highly acclaimed player, but he has been up and down in his career, Nat. Injury plagued last year. He's been in and out of coaches' doghouses, so also, to be quite frank about it, throughout his college career. Did not play at all last week against Wyoming.
But the key is he is a special talent.
And apparently focused individual now, and he looks very good tonight. And they give it to Wynn again. He is hit near the line of scrimmage by Byron Santiago. This is a tremendous linebacker, number 42. A young man at his first team all WAC, second team 2 years ago, first team last year, and he'll make big plays for you.
Yeah, there's another look at what Deshaun Wynn sees. He sees those big uglies trying to get some movement. He just tucks in behind them and tries to pile drive into the end zone, but Byron Santiago, who led La Tech, or should I say Louisiana Tech, in tackles last year, comes around the backside and makes the tackle.
It's 3rd down and goal. Florida on the first 2 downs trying to pound the ball into the end zone. Wynn is the lone running back. Chad Jackson in motion. Give it to Wynn again up the middle. He runs over one player but cannot get into the end zone. He was hit head on at about the 2 and drove forward to the 1 but did not get in. That was the linebacker, number 34, Barry Robertson, that hit him at the 2.
And that's just a mano a mano, and a tremendous job by Robinson of keeping Deshaun Wynn out of the end zone, but good tough running by Deshaun Wynn as he was able to drive him backwards.
And it's 4th and 1 at the goal line, and Florida will go for the touchdown. And it is given to Wynn again. He tried to squirm through, and he got there. Touchdown, Florida. Well, it looked like, Nan, he hit a wall of resistance at about the 1. Didn't think he was going to get in. And then he just powered his way in there.
And David, this is what you call desire. He's running right in there. It's stacked up. Now watch him keep his feet moving, puts his hand down, keeps his balance, and gets into the end zone. That's called desire by Deshaun Wynn to score the touchdown.
And that's what gets you more playing time. Wynn is the man who scores the first touchdown of the night. Urban Meyer wanted to get that ground game going, and he sticks one in the end zone with Deshaun Wynn running behind that offensive line of DeGore and Miller and Washington, Butler, and Hand.
Well, the Gators said they wanted to run the football, David, coming out here this afternoon in the second drive. Here's another look as you look over to the left side. Just good job. Everything's stacked up, but he keeps his feet moving, turns and twists, gets into the end zone as he runs behind the offensive line on the left side. Randy Hand, Tavares Washington, Mike DeGore. Good job by the left side of the offensive line. Here's another look. Just the sure determination as he just drives up in there. And guys, you know, we don't talk a lot about Billy Latsko, but Billy Latsko also was in on that play at the fullback position, the lead blocker. He comes over from defense, plays linebacker, goes back to fullback.
Well, you and I were talking before the game. I cannot remember a Florida player who last played offense, defense, and special teams in a game, which is what Billy Latsko did last year, or last week rather, against Wyoming. And he's in there blocking on that Deshaun Wynn touchdown. Chris Hetland's extra point makes it a 7-0 football game as Florida, on the legs of Deshaun Wynn, scores the first touchdown of the night. They lead Louisiana Tech 7-0. Kickoff man for the Gators is Eric Wilbur. And it is going to be Newman coming out at the 10-yard line. Newman to the 20. A nice return by Newman to the 30. Vernell Brown catches up with him. He fumbles the football. And let's see. A big return, and apparently it's Louisiana Tech football, as Eric Newman, a senior out of Oak Grove, Louisiana. It's a brilliant return, but then fumbled the ball. Louisiana Tech got it back.
Well, good job of tucking in behind the wedge and then getting outside, Eric Newman does, but good job by Vernell Brown of coming in, swiping it out, and just a good break for Louisiana Tech as the ball bounces up and into the waiting arms of one of their players.
Anthony Moss, number 26, recovered the fumble. And Louisiana Tech will take it at their 47-yard line. Special teams play, returns often play a big role in a football game, and here's a big one and a good opportunity for the Bulldogs. Matt Kubik rolling. His pass deflected, intended for Newman, and broken up by Reggie Lewis. Let's check in with Steve Babbitt.
If there was any question about whether the Gators were going to go for that 4th and goal, that 4th and short, Urban Meyer got the crowd going. He looked at his offense and started pumping his fist, and the crowd went crazy. If there was any question what the Gators were going to do, Urban Meyer answered it with that show of emotion, and the guys delivered by punching the ball in.
Well, toughness is one of the characteristics that Urban Meyer has worked hard to instill in this football team, and he really was determined that his ball club would put the ball in on the ground on that drive, and they did. Ball carrier is Dillard, and Dillard carries it to the 45 of the Gators on second down. About an 8-yard carry. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Little misdirection where you bring the wide receiver back around, you give the ball to the tailback right up the middle. Dillard is a sophomore out of Baton Rouge that's running hard right up the middle, picking up good yardage, giving Louisiana Tech a good 3rd down and short situation.
Dillard and Freddie Franklin splitting the running back duties for Louisiana Tech. Holland in motion. A handoff to Dillard up the middle, and he gets a good surge by his offensive line of Stewart and Lindsey and Lips. Big number 64, a all Western Athletic Conference performer, running right up the middle. 295 pounds, 6 foot 5 inches tall. Lips, a Remington Trophy watch list candidate. He's a good one, big 64 on the left side of that Louisiana Tech line. It's 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. They're in Florida territory at the 41-yard line. Kubik has time, good protection, And what an interception by Kyle Jackson at the 14-yard line. Jackson leaping into the air and picking it off.
And David, Kyle Jackson does several things exceptionally well here. First of all, he sits back and he sort of baits Kubik into throwing this football. And he watches his eyes. Now watch him break on the football. Then he goes up and catches the ball at the highest point. Here's another look. It's a double zone. And now there, Kyle Jackson, perfect position, goes up, catches the ball in his hands at the highest point. And that's the way you play free safety.
Burnell Brown had the coverage over there on Jonathan Holland, the fastest man on that Louisiana Tech football team, but not a well-thrown ball by Kubik. And the free safety, Jackson with the interception. Leak steps up out of pressure. Now he's going to have to run, stiff arms a defender, and wisely steps out of bounds at the 19-yard line. A gain of about 5 yards on the play.
Well, Chris Leak will be telling everybody how he used the Walter Payton stiff arm as he's able to avoid the rush of Hamilton, and then watch him switch the football to free up that right arm, puts that stiff arm in the face of the would-be defender, picks up 5 yards. Who said Chris Leak can't run the football?
Looking good on that play. Leak negative yardage running the ball last week, but had 4 quarterback sacks to negate some positive yardage. Line up in a box on the right side. 4 receivers. Leak keeps it right up the middle. Down he goes at the 21, a gain of only 2. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 3 for the Gators. The play made by Robertson, the linebacker, the senior out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. This Louisiana Tech team, as you pointed out, Nat, in our open, had at least 30 players affected by Hurricane Katrina. They had 1 player who would prefer to remain unidentified, who lost 3 family members. Just sheer tragedy for so many folks in Louisiana and Mississippi. And they've had to deal with a lot, even almost 500 miles away from the coast in Ruston, Louisiana. Leak going to keep it again. Looking for that 1st down marker, and it's going to be close. He went down at about the 24-yard line, and that's about what he needed. Let's see if he got enough.
And David, you know, sometimes, you know, when you've got guys holding the stanchions on the sideline, and I can tell you exactly what Chris Leak's seen. If you, on the left side of the sideline, he started to run to his left. There's a young man holding a pole, and that pole is 2 yards short. Now, he's going to come back out this way over here to your left side. Now, watch as he starts to run. Right there, he goes down, but he's short of the 1st down, probably because as he looked at the stanchion, it's short of where the intended athlete needed to go.
It was not a true indication of where the 1st down marker should have been. You're right. He's about 3 or 4 inches short. And a guy holding the marker over there.
It's 3 yards short of where he needed to go for the 1st down. So Chris Leak probably thought he had the 1st down when he went down.
Florida going to go ahead and punt the ball away. Wilbur's 2nd punt. Freddie Franklin is the deep man. There's the chain gang over there trying to get untangled at the moment. And Wilbur drives it deep. Franklin will signal for and make the fair catch at the 32-yard line. So a 44-yard punt by Eric Wilbur, coming off a 48-yard punt on his first offering of the night. Louisiana Tech takes the football. Gators have a 7-0 lead.
Imagine having a direct line to this guy. Presenting Gator Hotline, the only show that lets you go one-on-one with Urban Meyer. Gator Hotline, Thursday at 7, only on FSN Florida.
The worst part was the pressure. Phone calls at home, phone calls at work, letters in the mail.
It was nice to help. Since Debt Free works with thousands of creditors, we got his interest lowered and his penalties eliminated.
Every day, thousands of people call Debt Free, a nonprofit organization.
I was snapping at everyone, on edge all the time. I just didn't know how to deal with it.
I think it was the first good news she'd heard in a long time. I explained everything Debt Free could do to help her, and we figured out she could pay off her debts in 5 years and still have money left over every month.
I wanted to do something. I just didn't know where to start.
I showed her she could make just one monthly payment, and she didn't need to borrow money to do it.
Stop running from debt. Call Debt Free today.
I'm back to my old self. I'm glad I called Debt Free.
I'm not looking at people anymore.
If you're overwhelmed by debt, gather your bills and call Debt Free now.
I'm getting out of debt and I'm doing it myself. And I'm pretty proud of that.
Urban's first big SEC test is here, and no other network will bring you all access like this. Go inside with the Volunteer Gator pregame show. Saturday at 7, only on Sun Sports.
Florida leading 7-0 on a 1-yard run by Deshaun Wynn. 5:41 to play in the first quarter from the Swamp in Gainesville. Well, every week we like to feature a Florida assistant coach, introduce a different one to Gator fans every week. This week it's Billy Gonzalez, the wide receiver coach. He's been with Urban Meyer ever since his playing days at Colorado State. Has coached with him at Bowling Green and with Urban Meyer at Utah. And now he's, like Urban Meyer, proud to be a Florida Gator.
From my standpoint, coming in here at the University of Florida has been something that you dream about. You work your whole career and you dream about coming to a place like Florida. The excitement, the intensity, the rivalries, the tradition, everything above and beyond have exceeded any expectation that I had. So I'm excited to be here.
Billy Gonzalez, 11 years coaching experience and a wide receiver as a player at Colorado State. Handoff is to Freddie Franklin, and Franklin gets good first down yardage, a first down for the Bulldogs, all the way out to their 45-yard line. 13 yards on the carry by Franklin, a sophomore out of New Orleans.
The Bulldogs get good movement, and Franklin cuts it back behind the block of the center. Big gaping hole for him to run through as the linebackers overran the play. Franklin came out the back door.
Louisiana Tech had a 1,700-yard rusher last year. Ryan Moats, a third-round NFL draft pick. And a traditionally strong passing football team. With Moats in the backfield the last couple of years has been a terrific running football team. And it's Dillard this time, and Dillard hit near the line of scrimmage. And very little gain on the first down play. Brandon Seiler, number 40. The sophomore out of Orlando makes the tackle for the Gators. Southeastern Conference Freshman of the Year last year for the Gators. Well, if you've got a question for Nat Moore, you can email Nat at tailgate@sunsportstv.com. Ask Nat. I always look forward to what my partner is going to come up with, what the fans are going to come up with.
I think it's more what the fans are going to come up with.
You tell it like it is, though. That's what I like about you. That pass deflected, almost picked off, and then almost caught by Franklin. Earl Everett just about had an interception, then the ball popped up out of his hands, and Franklin had an opportunity to make a spectacular play. David Steele, Nat Moore, Steve Babick on the sideline here from the Swamp. Steve, what's going on down there?
Well, Nat made a very good point about the linebackers over pursuing, and sometimes, Nat, it seems like the defensive line, they're very quick, they have that speed, and sometimes they can run themselves out of the play if you go too quick.
Well, that's exactly what's happening. You know, these guys are basically not playing a two-gap. They're just trying to get penetration, so sometimes they run themselves out of the play.
They're down in long, and the pass almost intercepted again. D. Webb had an opportunity to pick that one off, intended again for Jonathan Holland. They're trying to get the ball in Holland's hands. He's got sprinter speed, Jonathan Holland, but he's the man that Kubik was trying to throw to when the pass was intercepted earlier, and that one almost picked off.
Well, I tell you what, when it comes to coverage, there's not a finer cover cornerback in the SEC than D. Webb. The thing that he has not been able to do is come down with the interception. He's in position to make the play, but just not able to make the grab for the interception.
Chris Cagle back to punt the ball. Vernell Brown waiting at the 15. A short kick. Lowen, opportunity for a return for Brown, but he lost his footing and goes down at the 27-yard line. A 34-yard punt. And a couple of yards on the return for Vernell Brown. He did have a chance to do something with that one, but couldn't get his footing right.
Couldn't get his footing, started to make a move. Started it right, tried to come back to his left, and his feet just went out from under him. But, you know, the thing about Vernell Brown in returning kicks is he's so sure-handed that that's the kind of guy you want back there handling the football, because you know he's going to catch the football, David.
Sean Wynn back in the game for the Gators. That's number 21, Wynn in motion. And Leak looking right and throwing left for Dallas Baker. Got a great block on the left side. Baker at midfield and down at the 45-yard line. What a terrific block by Randy Hand, giving Baker about 30 additional yards on that catch and run. Eddie White made the tackle for Louisiana Tech.
Well, this play is set up beautifully. If they look like they're going to try and throw the ball out to the right side, you throw it back to Dallas Baker, and then he picks up his blocking from Randy Hand, and Tavares Washington also out front. Offensive line getting downfield, throwing their bodies around.
There's a flag down as Wynn carries the football across the 40 to the Bulldog 38. An 8-yard carry, but let's check the flag. And it's going to go against the Gators.
I think this is the second penalty of the ball game, which is negated.
Offense, number 74, lined up on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So Randy Hand follows up a great block with not lining up on the line of scrimmage. But,
and that's a mental error.
Yeah.
That's a mental error. But the second penalty today that negated a positive play offensively.
And a senior out of Fort Myers has had a terrific career, making his 31st start for the University of Florida tonight against Louisiana Tech. Gavin Dickey is now the quarterback, and he fumbles the snap. And then 4 white shirts bring him down, including Barry Robertson and Byron Santiago. A gain of only a couple of yards for Gavin Dickey. So he gets his first snap at the quarterback position, and it's not a good one for Dickey, the talented two-sport athlete out of Tallahassee.
Very talented young man. That's a sophomore, plays baseball as well from Tallahassee Lincoln. And right there, David, the only thing that happened is he's looking to do something with the football before he got it. Didn't look it into his hands. He tried to make a play before he caught the football.
We're going to feature Gavin Dickey at halftime. Very interesting piece on Dickey. You'll want to stick around for that. Florida getting some good yardage on the ground again. It is Keyston Moore to the Louisiana Tech 42-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down for the Gators. That's still going to need about 7 for the first down.
David, when you look at Keyston Moore, you know, for a young guy, a true freshman, the way that he runs in between the tackles, you know, good low center of gravity. He's a good receiver coming out of the backfield, but very impressive running between the tackles.
Well, so far it's been all Moore and Wynn, hasn't it, at the running back position in this first quarter.
Big, strong backs.
3rd down. Can the Gators pick up the first? They need about 7 yards. Leak dancing around and now throws it up for grabs. It's incomplete. A dangerous pass by the strong-arm Leak, but he almost got it in there. Intended for
number 6,
Jamal Cornelius. Danger is written all over this play. Dangerous play, but an opportunity for a receiver to make a play. You know, once he makes the commitment to pull it down and run, he needs to take off. There he tries to reload. The ball is there. Jamal Cornelius just not able to make the catches. Anthony Moss comes in and knocks it out.
But the ball was there, and Cornelius probably should have caught it.
Should have caught it.
Great throw by Leak. Boy, he shows a powerful arm on that play. But it's 4th down for the Gators, and Wilbur on to punt the football. Pooches it toward the left side. A fair catch called for, and the ball bounces out of bounds at the 13.
Another good kick by Eric Wilbur, getting Louisiana Tech back inside the 15-yard line, kicking the ball out on the 13-yard line. An excellent kick by the punter.
We've all seen the devastating effects of Hurricane Katrina. If you want to help victims, you can make donations by going to SalvationArmyUSA.org, or you can call 800-SAL-ARMY. You can also go to RedCross.org, or you can call 800-HELP-NOW. If you experience delays in reaching these organizations, please be patient.
And David, it's just amazing how the country has rallied together because of the devastation of Katrina, Hurricane Katrina, and trying to help out.
Never seen anything like it. We've never seen a disaster like it, and likewise the scope of the response nationwide, really internationally.
Just shows you what America's all about. You know, everybody pitching in to try and help get it done.
You know, one thing you really got to love about Louisiana Tech, their athletic director, Jim Oakes, has opened the doors to their college to the Tulane football team. The entire football team from Tulane has relocated in Ruston. They're living in a dormitory that was going to be demolished. The team is there. The coaches have been given space in their basketball arena. And just remarkable what people are doing, and Louisiana Tech is on the forefront of that.
And
with tremendous generosity.
And it shows you just how much people care about people. The fact that Louisiana Tech would do something of that nature to open up their arms for Tulane. I mean, they've got their own concerns and et cetera, but they put them to the wayside, to the side, and just try to figure out how to make it happen. A little screen pass set up here, just trying to get the ball out in the hands of Mark Dillard, number 29, and let him do the rest. Good blocking out front. Marcus Stewart, the center, with the key block.
Two backs in the game for Louisiana Tech on first down. They pick up the first down. It's Dillard and Franklin. And the handoff is to Dillard. He got around McCullough. And good first down yardage. That offensive line for Louisiana Tech, they've been impressive in this first period, Nat. They've blocked the Gator front four very well.
Well, they've got a couple seniors, a junior, and two sophomores, but, you know, this is an offensive line that's about 300 pounds average across the center, except for Marcus Lindsey, the right guard, who is 360 pounds, 6'7". You know, you're going to get some movement there.
I was going to say they average about 320, but Lindsey brings that up a whole lot at 360, doesn't he? That's the end of the first quarter. The Gators with one impressive touchdown drive. Deshaun Wynn carrying it in from the 1 yard line. He also had a big carry to set up the touchdown. So Wynn in the attack on a Saturday in September. The Gators and the Bulldogs. Florida leads it after 1.
Are your eyes open? So are we.
There's more than one way to make a shake. And we admit, their way is more efficient. But when was the last time you sipped a shake and said, that tastes efficient?
Well, you've completed your grill training, so I'm proud to make you one of us.
Does that mean I'm ready to make hamburgers?
Steak and Shake.
When I go to Publix, I get more than just groceries. It's also where I get advice. You see, every time I visit my friends in the Publix meat department, they always have plenty of great menu suggestions and helpful cooking tips. Plus, if I have a special request, they always deliver. So out of all the different people who help me in the Publix meat department, the one thing that's always the same is the great service.
Publix, where serving you has been our pleasure for 75 years.
Satisfy your hunger with Red Baron frozen pizza. Try one of Red Baron's classic varieties and discover the difference. Flavorful, authentic, delicious. Red Baron frozen pizza available in your grocer's freezer. Satisfy your hunger with Red Baron frozen pizza. Try one of Red Baron's classic varieties and discover the difference. Flavorful, authentic, delicious. Red Baron frozen pizza available in your grocer's freezer.
1 quarter of play in the record books tonight from the Swamp in Gainesville. Another sellout crowd. That makes 98 consecutive, 99th season of college football for the University of Florida. And rarely have they been this excited about a Florida football team. Urban Meyer and his ball club leading Louisiana Tech 7-0. Let's check in with Steve Babbitt.
Nat, you made a great point about those two penalties in the first quarter by Florida, negating two very good gains. The one penalty by Tate Casey, personal foul, and then the illegal procedure move by Randy Hand. You know, a year ago, the Gators were the most penalized team in the SEC, averaging 9 a game. They cleaned things up last weekend against Wyoming with just 4, but you know Urban Meyer is not going to be happy with those two in the first quarter because that really broke some momentum the Gators had on offense.
Well, when you look at the mental mistakes like that, that's what stopped drives, and the Gators have only been able to score 1 touchdown in the first 4 drives.
Kubik, the quarterback. Newman in motion. And flags before the ball is snapped. Let's get a call from the official. What do we got?
Before the ball was snapped. Timeout, Louisiana Tech.
No flag. Timeout.
First timeout of the first half.
So we stop the clock. We'll take a break from Gainesville. Some confusion on the offensive side of the ball for Jack Bicknell's Bulldogs from Ruston, Louisiana. Ruston, Louisiana, a town of about 20,000. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending upon whether or not students are in session. Enrollment of about 6,500. They're playing against the big-time Florida Gators here. That's no stranger, though, for the Bulldogs. They've played against a lot of big teams.
Nestled in the heart of Florida, there's a place unique in all the world, where majestic oaks sway and stage shows swing, where it's as much about the wildlife as it is about the nightlife. A place where families gather to watch alligators while fans unite to root for Florida Gators. Gainesville, Alachua County, where nature and culture meet. Gainesville, Alachua County is home to the region's most beautiful parks and natural attractions, as well as some of Florida's most acclaimed festivals, museums, and performing arts. It's home to the University of Florida and the mighty Florida Gators. Gainesville, Alachua County is the vacation adventure with something for everyone. So what are you waiting for? Visit our website today and start planning your Gainesville, Alachua County vacation. Gainesville, Alachua County, where nature and culture meet.
We are an excellent university, an institution that knows who it is, and more importantly, knows what it wants to become. Excellence is the students, the faculty, and the staff, focused on being as good as they can be. So excellence to me is people. The world is really where our people will be distributed, and that's why I like the idea of an alligator sitting on top of the globe, because the globe is really where we're going to be sending everyone who comes through here.
College football on Sun Sports is brought to you in part by Red Baron, the official pizza sponsor of the Florida Gators, and by Shands, UF and Shands, the science of hope. Florida leading Louisiana Tech 7-0. It's the debut for the Bulldogs. Gators winners last week against Wyoming, 32-14. Louisiana Tech offense, they've made some fairly big plays in this first half of football, but have yet to be able to put any points on the scoreboard. Now they are second down and 5 as the second period begins. Kubik swings it out in the flat for Franklin, and a poorly thrown ball. The pass is incomplete. What do you see in that when it comes to drives in the first period?
Well, the Gators have had the ball 4 times. They've scored 1 touchdown. They were forced to punt 3 times, and 2 of those times was because of those penalties that stopped drives. And then on the other side, Louisiana Tech has had the ball 4 times, forced to punt 3 of the 4 times. The Gators got a takeaway with an interception, and this time they seem to be gaining some momentum. They're moving the ball down the football field. They started at their own 13-yard line. They're up to the 42-yard line. So this is a big third down.
It is 3rd and 5. And Kubik looking to throw. He's got a man over the middle. It is caught by Franklin. And a first down is Reggie Nelson. Makes the tackle at the 46-yard line of the Gators, but a 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs.
Louisiana Tech is able to isolate the running back, Franklin, on Reggie Nelson. He gets inside of him. Nice throw by Kubik, putting the ball on the money. Perfect throw, picking up the first down.
Matt, last week Florida put all kinds of pressure on Bramlett, the Wyoming quarterback. They have yet to touch Matt Kubik. Give credit to that Bulldog offensive line in this game so far.
Very good offensive line. You know, usually what happens with a football team, David, is they take on the personality of their head coach. And when you look at Jack Bicknell, who was a center at Boston College throughout his career, you know, you expect for him to put a good offensive line on the football field. You don't run for 1,700 yards the way they did last year with Ryan Mokes without a great offensive line or a scheme offensively of how to block it up front.
McNeil, the center for that BC team in '84 when Doug Flutie had the Hail Mary pass. Kubik stepping up. Seiler is there, and the pass is incomplete. And we were talking about the Gators not getting pressure, and here they come with a blitz, and Seiler finally puts Kubik on his backside.
Well, and I think Kubik actually gets away with one here because Seiler comes up out of nowhere, and just as he sees Seiler, he just gets rid of the football. And as to who he was throwing it to, I do not know. Here's another look. There you see Seiler coming in, just a perfect example, hitting the gap. And there was a receiver. I take that back. He's trying to get the ball to Mark Dillard, number 29, but not able to do so because of the hit put on by Brandon Seiler.
Well, the Gators got 44 players in the game in the first quarter. 44 players got in period number 1. That was another goal of Urban Meyer to get more folks in this week. Pressure by McDonald, and the pass is thrown to I'm not sure whom. An offensive lineman was down there.
Let's look at the pressure that the Gators get on Kubik. Well, he gets back, he's looking for his receiver over the middle, but right away Steve Harris is in his face along with Ray McDonald, not giving him time to set his feet and throw the football.
And Tech's drive will stall at the Florida 44. That's Fernell Brown, the deep man for the Gators, the senior from Gainesville. We had an interception and 6 solo tackles last week, as well as a 22-yard punt return. Flags are dropped. Cagle's punt was horrible. One of the worst you've ever seen in a college football game, but maybe he'll get lucky and have another chance. Redshirt freshman from Baton Rouge. You can see around the other side of that helmet, his face has got to be red. As red as the back of that helmet.
Illegal formation. Offense number 37 wasn't on the line of scrimmage. Penalty is declined. First down.
It's going to be interesting to see where they spot the ball. The line of scrimmage was what, the 44? This might be a negative. It is. This is negative 2 yards on the punt. Have you ever seen that?
I've never seen that, David.
Well, it's the Campus USA Credit Union Volleyball Classic, September 16th, 17th at the O'Connell Center. Friday the 16th, Florida facing Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne at 7:30 p.m. That's the Campus USA Credit Union Volleyball Classic.
David, I've never seen you as adamant about a punt either.
Well, have you seen one worse than that?
I've never seen one that bad, no.
Leak throwing, Cornelius, but what a play. A flag is thrown though, however, as number 18, DeLone Williams, put his hand out there and knocked the ball away, but he might have had the other hand on the hip of Cornelius.
Well, and it's a normal thing that happens with cornerbacks as they go to make a play with the off arm. You'll see the right arm just reaches out and he grabs the receiver.
Defense number 18, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
There you saw another look at it. Number 18, DeLone Williams, is in great position, makes a great play on the football, but he grabs him with his right arm as he reaches out with the left to knock the ball away.
And of course, Nat, college football, that is not a bad play to make. You might get away with it, and at the very worst, it's a 15-yard penalty and not a touchdown for the other team.
And I don't care if the ball is spotted there, you don't give up the touchdown.
True.
You force the official to make a call.
15 yards, the ball at the Bulldog 39. Leak just dropping back and throwing out of the shotgun. He's got Caldwell open, and he overthrew him at the Louisiana Tech 13-yard line. Caldwell running free down the center of the field. Alton Bryant was in the area.
Well, what the Gators are trying to do is open this thing up. They've been running the football. Now they decide to throw the football, and he just tries to lob this up and over, and the ball is actually behind Andre Caldwell, where he had to try and turn and catch the ball in the air at the same time.
Quarterback Chris Leak, one of Florida's other backup quarterbacks, Gavin Dickey, is flanked out to the left. And a handoff to Deshaun Wynn. Nice cut back to the center of the field, and the flag comes in after a 4-yard carry by Deshaun Wynn. We had a 50-yard run in the first period. And the 1-yard touchdown run, giving Florida its only score. This is going to be a face mask call against the Bulldogs.
Face mask, 5-yard penalty, number 42 in the defense. Still second down.
Let's go back and take another look at it. And this is exactly what Deshaun Wynn gives you. Is number 34, Barry Robertson, tries to make the tackle. You know, Deshaun Wynn is not only powerful and strong, but he has good change of direction. He makes that good hard cut. He forces the linebacker to make a face mask tackle.
Wynn still in the ball game. Steve, he looks very strong here in this first half, doesn't he?
Yes, good rhythm and has a good feel for the block and not rushing the play.
And he gets the call again. Tackle around the ankles, almost broke completely free and picked up another couple of yards. Big and strong. Wynn at 5'11", 230, but he's dropped about 10 pounds or so, and he's in terrific shape.
But I tell you, at 5'11", you know, he's good low center gravity, keeps those legs driving, and he just pulls out of arm tackles. You know, good strong running back.
Well, the two eyes for Wynn to this point have been injury and instability. He would like to do something about that with a fresh start with the new coaching staff. And on the option, the handoff, they've got him fooled. It's Caldwell. He's got a caravan out in front. Bubba Caldwell to the Bulldog 2-yard line. Man, that was a convoy out ahead of Bubba. He could not quite put it into the end zone, but it'll be first and goal at the 2-yard line. Louisiana Tech was completely sucked in on the fake by Lee.
And this is what happens when you get to running the football. You can do a lot of things. You can throw the football. You can run reverses. You get good blocking out there because you got the defense chasing, and then a good block by Dallas Baker out front, giving Caldwell a little bit of extra room to run in.
Good speed of Barry Robertson ran him down. Deshaun Wynn already with one touchdown, trying to grind it into the end zone. No signal yet. And apparently no touchdown. Yep, it is. Touchdown Wynn. His second of the game.
Last time, David, Deshaun Wynn went over the left side behind Tavares Washington, Randy Hand, and Mike DeGore. This time, he goes over the right side behind Drew Miller, Lance Butler, and Tate Casey. Good, strong running on the right side and great blocking at the point of attack.
Urban Meyer has to be pleased with the progress of Wynn as Chris Etlin hammers it through. Fleming with the hold, and the Gators lead 14-0.
With 11:58 to go in the first half. The Gators 14.
So Deshaun Wynn, the big, strong junior out of Cincinnati, Ohio. He's just determined to put that ball into the end zone for the second time in the game.
Live this week, we preview Urban's first taste of the SEC against the Vols. Plus, we'll take you inside the I-4 war. Rec Warehouse College Kickoff, Friday at 7, only on Sun Sports.
The worst part was the pressure. Phone calls at home, phone calls at work, letters in the mail.
It was nice to help. Since Debt Free works with thousands of creditors, we got his interest lowered and his penalties eliminated.
Every day, thousands of people call Debt Free, a nonprofit organization.
I was snapping at everyone, on edge all the time. I just didn't know how to deal with it.
I think it was the first good news she'd heard in a long time. I explained everything Debt Free could do to help her, and we figured out she could pay off her debts in 5 years and still have money left over every month.
I wanted to do something. I just didn't know where to start.
I showed her she could make just one monthly payment, and she didn't need to borrow money to do it.
Stop running from debt. Call Debt Free today.
I'm back to my old self. I'm glad I called Debt Free.
I'm not snapping at people anymore.
If you're overwhelmed by debt, gather your bills and call Debt Free now.
I'm getting out of debt, and I'm doing it myself. And I'm pretty proud of that.
Imagine having a direct line to this guy. Presenting Gator Hotline, the only show that lets you go one-on-one with Urban Meyer. Gator Hotline, Thursday at 7, only on FSN.
Well, the Gators lead Louisiana Tech 14-0 early in the second period. A touchdown for Deshaun Wynn, his second of the game.
Football practices. Press conference.
So the young man out of Cincinnati, Ohio, came into the ball game with 12 touchdown runs, 2 more, 14 now in his career.
And just good blocking over the right side of the offensive line as Deshaun Wynn breaks the tackle of the first defender, the little arm tackle. He runs through it, and then he just tucks behind and moves the pile. And when you're 230 pounds and you got those good, strong legs, David, you can move the pile. That time he's able to move the pile to get into the end zone.
You know, Wynn has not been very vocal with the media. In fact, he has decided he really doesn't have much to say. He's been serving sort of an unofficial suspension last week against Wyoming, but he told a reporter this week, he said, "I'll talk to you after the game Saturday night. I think I'm going to have something to say after that one. Let my talking until then take place down on the field against Louisiana Tech."
And that's a good thing. That's the way it should be. You know, you're in the doghouse, you want to come out of the doghouse, let your play on the field do the talking for you.
This is going to be Newman again, who had a nice run earlier in this football game. This time he brings it out to the 19-yard line. And good coverage by Billy Latsko for the Gators. Friday at 7 on Sun Sports, Rec Warehouse College kickoff gets a jump start on the weekend of college football. Your host, Whit Watson, along with Brady Ackerman and Terry Norvell, will break down the Gators and the Vols to find out that you could win the ultimate game room. Find out how to do that. The Rec Warehouse College kickoff Friday at 7, only on Sun Sports. A Florida touchdown set up by a minus 3-yard punt on what looked like my pitching wedge on a short par 3. There would have been water for sure if it had been my golf shot.
It's called a shank.
Yeah. I've seen Jerry Wetzel, our producer, golf, and you know, it really did look a little like Jerry off the tee.
Yeah, but the difference is when Jerry hits a wedge, it goes backwards.
Well,
that's even worse.
It's minus 3. The new quarterback is redshirt senior Donald Allen. Now, he's a man that won the starting quarterback job last year, a couple of games into the season from Kubik, and then was injured against Tennessee. Came back late, played late in the season in their final game against Rice. Gators jumped. McDonald trying to time the snap, but was he drawn? Number 63, Ryan Considine, might have drawn him offside. Let's see.
Before the ball was snapped, against number 95, 5-yard penalty.
Now
Still second down.
Ray tried to sell it, but nobody was buying.
Well, that's a typical thing with the defensive linemen. Even when they know they're wrong, they point at an offensive lineman because they were supposed to have done something wrong.
Ray's just trying to get a head start. Charlie Strong, Greg Madison, co-defensive coordinators. Gators played a lot of man defense last week. Madison said about 50% man defense in the secondary. Allen hands off. It's Franklin. And Franklin carries it across the 30 to the 31. That's a first down for the Bulldogs.
Jarvis Harrington had a chance, strong safety. He's right up in the hole, had a chance to catch him in the backfield, but good tough running by Freddie Franklin, number 28, picking up the first down.
As we watch the game here this evening, we know everybody is deeply concerned for those so profoundly affected earlier by Hurricane Katrina throughout the Gulf States region. To offer assistance, proceeds from tonight's pay-per-view telecast, that'll be a total of about $50,000, are going to be donated by the UAA to Desire Street Ministries. That's Danny Werfel's organization in New Orleans. All of us at Sun Sports and U of F extend our thoughts and prayers to those coping with that devastating tragedy. And as we pointed out already, Louisiana Tech, although 450 miles from New Orleans, feeling the effects. One player lost 3 family members. This quarterback here, Donald Allen, his father is a member of the New Orleans Sheriff's Department. He stayed back to try and help that situation in a law enforcement capacity while the rest of his family evacuated to Ruston.
And I'll tell you what, that was such a tough situation because there were so many police officers in the New Orleans area that were missing. They were short about a third of their officers. at one point. So a very difficult situation for not only the law enforcement officers, but also the fire and rescue folks.
Sure.
You know, you've got problems at home, but you've got to try and take care of the other people that are shut in and sick and in trouble.
Well, it's just an unbelievable situation. And Jack Bicknell been dealing with that. He had to cancel practice, which, you know, that's not very important in the grand scheme of things, a couple of times last week. And so many of his players dealing with family members in the Gulf States, Mississippi, and Louisiana.
I'll tell you, I don't know how you do it.
I don't either. They're here, and they played a pretty solid first half. It's 14-0 Florida. Allen, the strong-arm quarterback out of New Orleans, throws a dart to Holland. He dropped it, almost intercepted by Brown, but that pass could have been caught by Jonathan Holland. These receivers for Louisiana Tech have not shown much of a ball-catching ability so far tonight, and that was their problem with this ball club last year.
Well,
quarterbacks weren't that bad, but receivers had problems catching the ball.
Well, when you've got a chance to make a play as a receiver, you've got to make that play. That time, Jonathan Holland, you know, last year he caught 19 balls. He averages about 22 yards per reception last year, but so far today, you could see that his concentration is just not there.
Well, they've trotted the freshman Cagle back out there, coming off the -3 on 4th down for the Bulldogs. This time he gets it away, and this one not going to be negative anyhow. And Brown fumbled the football, and it's loose at the 28. Who's got it? No signal yet. Louisiana Tech pointing, but the officials say Florida football. So Brown dodges a bullet. He does not want a fair catch that ball, Nat, and he almost paid the price here.
And David, this time he tries to fair catch it. He gives a late signal, and he loses his concentration. But he does a good job of getting back in there, fighting for the football, and getting the football. I mean, when you muff a football like that, you don't give up on it. You continue to fight, and even at 5'8", 165 pounds, he wins the battle underneath that big pileup.
Well, the Gators fortunate to keep possession. 9:13 remaining in the first half. The Gators leading 14-0. Chad Jackson, has he had the ball tonight? He was in motion. The man who had 4 touchdowns last week. I'm not sure that he's put his hands on it so far in this game. Scoring recap for the Gators. Deshaun Wynn with that 50-yard run to set up the touchdown, Matt.
Just outstanding blocking by the left side of the offensive line, and then a good power move, keeping his feet moving, getting into the end zone. And then once again, a little trickery as you get the ball in the hands of Andre Caldwell. Good blocking, gets it into the end zone, and then good movement on the right side of the offensive line, the entire offensive line getting it done.
Triple shift for the Gators on 2nd down and 9. And Leak, or rather it is Avery Atkins throwing the football, and that's going to be a flag and a penalty. Or Portis, rather. That's Portis, the freshman quarterback. Atkins, number 4 on the defense. Portis, the freshman who got in last week and ran the ball effectively 3 or 4 times. In fact, he was the leading rusher for the Gators last year, Nat, with 45 yards, 9 yards per carry. And this one penalty against Louisiana Tech.
And the thing you wonder with a Josh Portis is, can he throw the football? And here you see a pretty good pass, just the interference by number 26 Anthony Moss on Andre Caldwell, but a nice job of showing run as he comes out on the sweep and then pulling up, trying to get Bubba Caldwell on the streak for a touchdown.
Well, these Bulldogs are determined not to get beat late and deep here against the Gators. It's 1st down for Florida. Portis in the ball game at quarterback, and a handoff. Deshaun Wynn, he is a tough customer running that football tonight.
And David, what we're starting to see is,
well, that's Keyshawn Moore.
Keyshawn Moore running the football. Good, like I say, those two guys look just alike running between the tackles. But what we're starting to see is quarterbacks interchanging. You know, Josh Portis is in the ball game. Gavin Dickey has been in the ball game, but Gavin Dickey is lining up at the receiver position. You know, something that he worked at in the early fall in practice.
Chris Leak back in the ball game at quarterback. Option right side and a toss to Wynn. Wynn across the 45, hurdles to the 43 and picks up a Florida Gator first down. Well, that option looked pretty good on that particular play with Leak tossing it to big Deshaun Wynn on the corner.
And that's what you want to see Chris Leak do. You got a big powerful running back in Deshaun Wynn. You got a chance, get him the football. Let him do the running. That's what he does. You throw the football. Nice job of pitching it early, giving him a chance to catch it and get turned upfield.
First down for the Gators at the Bulldog 43-yard line. Win the handoff. Running off tackle, Robertson rides him down at the 41. A gain of 2 yards on the play.
We're getting a steady diet of run and pass, and a tremendous effort is being shown here in the first half to run the football. Last week we were throwing it 3 out every 4 downs. Today we're basically pounding it, trying to get that movement up front with the big fellas.
And the pitch again. This time it is Jackson getting his hands on the ball, I believe, for the first time tonight. Chad Jackson picking up good yardage on the option for the Gators.
And David, what I really like is watch Chad Jackson when he gets the football. He'll be coming to the right bottom of your screen, and now watch when he just turns it up. He turns the afterburners. He trusts his receivers out front blocking for him, Andre Caldwell, and just turns it up and turns the motors on. That's how you break big plays.
Big play man a week ago with 3 touchdown catches for the Gators. Chad Jackson. Leak. First down at the Bulldog 24-yard line. Leak pumping, firing for Wynn. Touchdown! His 3rd of the night. Well, you've got a new offensive star. It's Deshaun Wynn. Jackson last week and Wynn this week.
Well, when you look at this Gator football team, it's about playmakers. Good block by Moore, picking up the would-be blitzer. Deshaun Wynn sneaks out of the backfield and goes up, expecting to get hit, makes the catch as Bo Cox goes flying by.
And the extra point by Hetland is good. Florida now a 3-touchdown lead as Deshaun Wynn is putting on a show tonight in the Swamp. His 3rd touchdown of the game.
At Steak and Shake, we're a restaurant. A working lunch shouldn't mean carrying your own tray. The secret ingredient in our milkshakes? Ironically, milk.
Steak and Shake.
The fountain never sleeps. When I go to Publix, I get more than just groceries. It's also where I get advice. You see, every time I visit my friends in the Publix meat department, they always have plenty of great menu suggestions and helpful cooking tips. Plus, if I have a special request, they always deliver. So out of all the different people who help me in the Publix meat department, the one thing that's always the same is the great service.
Publix, where serving you has been our pleasure for 75 years.
Welcome back to the Barrett-Jackson Collector Car Auction.
Next up, it's the 2006 Dodge Charger.
It's the RT with a 340-horse Hemi, 18-inch alloys, muscular styling.
I particularly like this razor edging along here. Look at that, dual exhaust. Even the interior looks straight out of a custom shop.
75. No, it's actually around 30.
Loaded up, straight out of the factory. Charger.
I'll take it.
Unleashed.
Well, Florida leading 21-0 here in the Swamp, and the bravest man in the Swamp at this moment is our Steve Babick, who's in the student section. Steve, how you doing?
David, I'm doing great. You know what? As part of Urban Meyer's goal to get the student body more connected to the football team, he came up with a concept called the Swamp Things. In fact, it was actually Tyra Bowling who entered a contest and came up with the Swamp Things. Now, 20,000 of these shirts have been given out, and as you can see, I'm surrounded by many of the Swamp Things. First of all, let's talk with Michael from Miami. Michael, what about this Swamp Thing program?
If you're not a Gator, you're Gator Base. Swamp Thing's #1. Go Gators!
And also, let's talk with David from Lakeland. David, you're a first-year Gator. What about this concept with Coach Meyer?
This is awesome. Coach Meyer has made this whole university awesome. We're pumped up. I'm glad he got this whole university involved. He's done a great job.
All right, let's go back upstairs. Live from the Swamp Things, I'm Steve Babbitt.
David, I don't know about you, but I'm going to have to clean my glasses because, you know, Steve Babbitt looked like one of those students down there. He's not that young.
He looked like a Swamp Thing. He fit right in. Eternally youthful Steve Babbitt. There's a flag as the ball out of bounds on the kick. There he is getting out of there, back to his day job.
I tell you what, he looked like he was one of the students sitting in there.
Well, you think Urban Meyer is pleased with the running game here in the first half, Nat? He's got a couple of touchdowns on the ground.
I think he's getting some of the stuff that he's looking for, but you're still looking to see that power running game. If you go back and you look at the Utah team that he had last year, you know, this was a team that was balanced. They scored 39 touchdowns running the football, 33 touchdowns, or 36 and 33 passing the football. So that's what he's looking for, and that's why he keeps talking about second-year production in the first year.
Quarterback Donald Allen for the second series. And Mincy hits the ball carrier near the line of scrimmage. Patrick Jackson, number 23, getting his first handoff, his first attempt to run the football tonight. And a nice play by Mincy, senior out of Statesboro, Georgia.
And David, starting to get some of the second unit players in the ball game as the Gators have brought in Brian Crumb, number 91, Derek Harvey, just a bunch of Joe Cohen, number 20, second team guys getting some playing time early in the ball game.
Second down for the Bulldogs and 9. Allen, there's a nice catch by a receiver for Louisiana Tech. That's Seneca Chambers with his first catch of the night, a senior from Port St. Joe, Florida, one of very few Floridians on this Louisiana Tech football team.
No, the only Floridian.
There was one more.
No, I think he's the only guy, and nice job going up catching the football. A senior that would really like to play well here in his home state of Florida.
You know, these Bulldogs they're accustomed to these big stadium games. They played Miami, Auburn, Tennessee all last year and have a history of playing the bigger football program. So not intimidated by the 90,000 fans in the Swamp, I'm sure.
Not at all.
Florida has just been too strong so far with a 21-0 lead. And timeout is taken by Urban Meyer's Florida Gators. Time to remind you to watch Gator Zone, presented by Wachovia and Cox Communications on Sun Sports. James Bates and Larry Vitale bring you up to speed on all of the latest Gator sports news. That's Wednesdays at 5:30. Gator Zone. A lot of fans enjoyed the Gator Walk again before tonight's game, and they changed the route. They brought them in over here on the southwest side and looped them around to the north side and in the stadium. Made them walk a little farther, but I think more fans were able to.
Well, it was too big
to enjoy it.
I mean, last week it wasn't long enough, and there were so many fans that wanted to participate and be a part of it that by having them rerouted, now all of the Gator Nation get a chance to see these guys as they cheer them on to get ready to play this football game.
Tremendous excitement here at the Swamp again tonight. And it is a 21-0 lead for the Gators. Louisiana Tech has been across midfield a couple of times, but really no serious threat to score so far. Jack McDowell in his 7th year as head coach in Ruston, Louisiana. Has been under fire a little bit the last couple of years, but a big win to close the season last year against Rice helped them out quite a bit. They finished 6-6. There's another drop ball and interception for D. Webb. Florida with the interception at the 45-yard line, and Webb finally corrals one.
And even this one, he catches it on the bobble as the ball is deflected up in the air. Good awareness by D. Webb, staying with the football. If you look out to the right side of your screen, good coverage. Once again, ball comes off number 2, Freddie King, and he's just there to make the grab. Good awareness. He double catches it. That's my man, D. Webb, but he gets his first interception of the year.
Yep, Kyle Jackson got one earlier in the ball game, and D. Webb gets his 4th career interception and his first of the season. And it's Leak looking to throw, stepping up, getting hit. The ball loose, picked up by a Louisiana Tech player, and it looks like it's going to be ruled a fumble. It is. Bulldogs football as big 58, the linebacker, Brandon Jackson, is the man who recovered the fumble. I'm not sure who delivered the hit, but Leak got hit hard as he drew his arm back to throw the ball.
Let's take another look at it. He's looking to try and get the ball down the center of the football field, and he gets hit just as his arm's going forward. He gets hit by big number 85, Corvée Winbush, and this could be revealable that his arm was going forward as he got hit.
Well, the Gators did not turn the ball over last week, and that is the first one for Florida of the season. Allen's pass, Chambers with the catch, and Seneca Chambers will pick up a Bulldog first down to the Gator 33. Chambers has a couple of catches for the Bulldogs now and seems to be the more sure-handed at the moment of that group. Might be why Allen looking for him there.
Well, you try and get the ball normally to your speed receiver, which is Jonathan Holland, but you know, he's had the drops here this afternoon, so you come back to your senior receiver in Seneca Chambers and give him a chance to see if he can make some plays, and he's done so.
Chambers had a couple of catches against Tennessee last year. He's got 2 catches here tonight against Florida. A throwback, they set up the screen play to Franklin. Well executed play for the Bulldogs, and Franklin run out of bounds by Earl Everett at the Florida 22.
And David, what we're seeing is some of the same stuff. You're going to start this way. Quarterbacks will start out this way, and he really wants to get the ball back over in this area as he screens it to his tailbacks. A little slip the block. Now get it to your tailback. Good kick out block. He turns it upfield, picks up good yardage. You know, a very well designed play.
By far the most serious Louisiana Tech threat of the game. 3:15 to play in the first half. And movement on the left side of the Louisiana Tech line. Allen working feverishly to get the play call with this boisterous
Before
crowd.
the ball was snapped. False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Might give 90,000 an assist on that 5-yard penalty. Tyler Miller unable to contain himself.
And David, looking at the offensive lineman, you're talking about 300-pound men. They're in a 3-point stance. Now, the longer you hold them there, which that's what happened that time with Allen trying to check off and change the play at the line of scrimmage, eventually someone's going to move.
Newman and King are split wide to the right. Allen pressured and almost squirmed away, but they got it. Reggie Nelson finishes the quarterback off.
Joe Coyne with the initial pressure coming right up the middle, just jumped through a gap, gets there, hits the quarterback, Donald Allen. You'll see right there coming on a twist game. He's able to grab him, slow him down, and in comes Nelson to finish him off.
You know, we've been hearing about Nelson for, it seems like, forever. Great athlete, tremendous football player out of Melbourne. And it appears that finally Reggie Nelson is ready to really burst on the scene for Florida. Nice play by Cohen. Cohen and Nelson teammates in Melbourne, and they team up on that play to get Allen.
Outfitting.
Allen wants timeout. Allen seemed upset, unable to get the play in. And Louisiana Tech will use its second timeout with the clock stopped at 2:02 in the first half. And the Bulldogs threatening seriously for the first time in the game. They're at the Florida 32 with the Gators on top 21-0.
Teams from a workaround.
At Steak and Shake, we're a restaurant. A working lunch shouldn't mean carrying your own tray. The secret ingredient in our milkshakes? Ironically, milk.
Steak and Shake. The fountain never sleeps. His presentation to the board was in an hour. And while he managed to keep that dry, well, he wasn't. Which is why he was pleased to discover that our selection of big and tall was not only extensive, but at prices that, well, wouldn't soak him. After all, he had enough of that for one day.
You'll find big and tall sizes at the Men's Warehouse.
You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Hey Seminole fans, looking for the best selection of FSU gear you can find anywhere? Looking for easy online and catalog ordering for all your Noel fashions and gifts? Then you're looking for BillsBookstore.com. What a Seminole looks for. Just call 800-476-1FSU for your copy of Bill's 2005 catalog or order online at BillsBookstore.com. That's Bill's Bookstore. Call 800-476-1FSU or order online anytime at BillsBookstore.com.
21-0 Florida late in the first half with 2:02 remaining, and Louisiana Tech taking a timeout. Joe Cohen and Reggie Nelson combining on that defensive stop a moment ago, and Palm Bay High School had both of these guys at the same time. Can you imagine how terrific that high school team must have been? Cohen, a running back, now playing defense for the Gators. Nelson, an all-purpose type of football player. Nelson went to Coffeyville Community College. Now a sophomore for the Gators, and their teammates on the defensive side of the ball for Florida tonight. Allen, Chambers tripped up, tremendous play, and that's that man again from Melbourne, Reggie Nelson, on Seneca Chambers.
And the difference between good defensive backs and great defensive backs, David, is recognition. The ability to recognize a play as it starts to develop. That time, Reggie Nelson saw the play start to develop and got upfield before the blocking could get there to make the play. Just an outstanding play by the young man. Here's another look. He's out on the top of your screen, but right there, he sees the play coming before anybody can get there. He's across the line of scrimmage, makes the tackle.
Well, we've got an unsportsmanlike conduct call against the Gators. I'm not positive what this is about, but officials are supposed to crack down on celebration. And maybe that's what it is, or perhaps a Florida player did something even more inappropriate. We're not sure. Jarvis Herring apparently is the man who got flagged. Nonetheless, Urban Meyer will not be pleased with another very damaging penalty against his team.
It would have been fourth down, and they would have been forced to punt the football. Now they're in field goal range.
Ball is snapped, but the Bulldogs have already taken timeout. It came from the sideline, I believe, and Allen didn't know they'd use their final timeout. Well, Florida's defense being tested here on this series, Knapp, and coming into the game, one of our storylines we're following is their ability to stop the run. Done a pretty nice job against the run, that front four, against a very, very talented Louisiana Tech offensive line.
Well, they've given up some yardage on several plays, but they've been able to stop them and force them to try and throw the football. You know, this is a team similar to Florida that want to run the football. They run a spread offense, but it all starts with the ability to run the football. So the Gators have been able to give up some ground, but eventually stop them and force them to kick it away.
And the blitz package. You wonder, Nat, with the Wyoming game under their belt, a lot of blitzing last week. I haven't seen as much from the defensive staff in that regard here tonight. And Tennessee next week coming up. You wonder how much they're going to show Charlie Strong and Greg Madison tonight against Louisiana Tech.
Well, and I think you only want to show so much. You come with a little end and tackle twist game, and then Nelson, seeing that his guy that he's supposed to cover blocks, now he gets into the blitz package and makes the sack.
Third down, 7 at the Florida 20 for Louisiana Tech. Allen rifles the pass, and Chambers can't hold on. Vernell Brown had good coverage. Well, that Allen's got a shotgun for an arm, doesn't he?
He has a good, strong arm, but great coverage once again by the Gator cover man. That time it was Vernell Brown. We've been watching D. Webb. You know, the Gators are around the football. It's hard for these receivers to get away from them, so it's got to be a perfect pass. That time Vernell got there same time as the football and knocked it away.
This is Danny Horwedel, the sophomore place kicker out of Oak Ridge, Tennessee. 8 for 14 last year. Holder is Kubik, and Horwedel's kick is a line drive, and he hammers it through. So Louisiana Tech is on the scoreboard on a Horwedel 37-yard field goal to make it a 21-3 score. Once again, a penalty on the Gators works in favor of Louisiana Tech, and really enables the Bulldogs to get on the scoreboard here late in the first half now.
And David, if you remember last week, one of the things that Coach Meyer talked about was the fact of only 4 penalties, not hurting yourself. Now here tonight we've seen 3 critical instances where offensively you stop drives with 2 of them, and then defensively the third penalty hurts you where it keeps the drive alive.
That's 4 penalties already tonight against the Florida football team, and as you point out, Nat, 3 of them critical penalties that really impact your ability either to score offensively or to stop Louisiana Tech from scoring. Let's go to the sideline and Steve Babick.
Boy, to follow up what Nat talked about with the good coverage, when you have safeties, though, I think the caliber of Florida, and you can trust those guys back there, you as a corner can maybe play a little tighter and take a little bit more of a chance because you feel like, hey, Kyle Jackson, Jarvis Aaron, they've got my back. So, Nat, I think you made a good point. Those guys, Steve Webb and Vernell Brown, are doing a great job of covering, but that as a group, get back to the defensive backfield, those guys are becoming pretty doggone good.
Well, it's all about trust. If you can trust that the other guy's going to do his job, if you do yours, then you're not as concerned about getting beat deep. And if you're worried about getting beat, then you can't make a play. And that's not the problem here with this Gator secondary.
And Louisiana Tech kicking off. Bubba Caldwell got a seam. He also dropped the football. A big return by Caldwell, but let's see. Pile up at the 43-yard line of the Gators. And Florida got it back again. Boy, that is another very dangerous situation for the Gators. And as Vernell Brown recovered a fumbled punt earlier, now Caldwell is able to get this one back.
And he has good blocking and then just doesn't put the football away as a Louisiana Tech player is able to put the headgear on the football. Ball comes out, but fortunately for the Gators, number 28, Richard Brown, recovers.
I think it's Morgan. I think that there's 2 28s for the Gators. It's Kyle Morgan.
Kyle Morgan, okay.
Recovered the ball. Tell you what, when there's double numbers, you got to be careful. Leak. Only his 6th pass attempt of the game. What about that, Nat? He threw for over 300 yards against Wyoming. And the Gators, with only 6 pass attempts in the first half, they completed 4 of 6 for about 70 yards in the first half of the game.
That's Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer said last week after the ball game, we've thrown for 320, but we're going to get the running game corrected. We're going to run the football. And that's what they're doing here this afternoon.
149 yards on the ground in the first half for Florida. And they're 2nd and 2 with 1:07 to play in the first half. We've seen Portis on one series. Otherwise, it's been all Leak again. Chris will throw it. Baker with the catch, but he's got nowhere to go. Tackle made by number 22 for Louisiana Tech. That's Tremont Williams. Most experienced of all of their defensive backs.
And that play had it was dead. It was doomed from the beginning because Tramon Williams was up in a press corner, and you're trying to run a screen pass. You just can't run him off.
Now on third down, Leak threw it into the hands of a defender. That pass was thrown to Brandon Jackson, and the big fella couldn't hold on to it.
Well,
that's incomplete.
And David, that was just a poor decision as he tried to fit the ball in to his receiver that was not open. He, obviously he didn't see Brandon Jackson sitting there in the deep middle, and very fortunate. Another break for the Gators. And you've had 3 times where there could have been a turnover, and the Gators walk away unscathed.
Fourth down for the Gators. Franklin back to receive the punt from Eric Wilbur. Beautiful kick. Franklin makes the fair catch at the 5-yard line with 27 seconds to play in the first half. The rule generally is if you're inside the 10, let it go.
No, the rule is generally put your feet or your heels on the 10-yard line. Whatever you do, don't back up, especially if you're talking about fair catching it.
There's a man who knows a little bit about punt returns, Nat Moore.
Well, it got drilled into me enough when, you get so excited when you're back there in the defense of the young man that you want to make a play. You want to make something happen. You figure the punter has outkicked the coverage, and then all of a sudden you look up, you're catching the ball in the end zone or at the 3-yard line. You've got to put your heels on the 10-yard line, and whatever you do, if the ball goes over your head, do not back up. Let it go.
Was Coach Shula the one who mainly would make that point, or
he didn't say it so nicely, though. One of the finest coaches that you could ever play for in Don Shula, and learn a lot from him.
Well, that's the final play of the first half. Florida jumping to a 3-touchdown lead, a late field goal by Louisiana Tech, and Urban Meyer's Florida Gators with a 21-3 halftime advantage on a very lovely night. Now it started out in the low 90s, but a very comfortable evening settling in North Central Florida. As the Gators out to a 21-3 halftime lead. Deshaun Wynn, a huge first half running and receiving for the Gators, and the sellout crowd enjoying a 21-3 halftime advantage. We'll be back with more at the Swamp in just a moment.
We are an excellent university, an institution that knows who it is and, more importantly, knows what it wants to become. Excellence is the students, the faculty, and the staff focused on being as good as they can be. So excellence to me is people. The world is really where our people will be distributed, and that's why I like the idea of an alligator sitting on top of the globe, because the globe is really where we're going to be sending everyone who comes through here.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Behold, a salad that speaks to me, my individuality. McDonald's new sesame ginger premium salad. Lush with snow peas, edamame, oranges of the mandarin persuasion. Glazing chicken warm and tender, I surrender to Newman's own low-fat dressing. Dancing, romancing every crispy, crunchy bite. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. I believe I have achieved salad inner peace.
Light up the nights with Rec Warehouse College Kickoff. The only Friday night college football show in the nation. Live this week, we preview Urban's first taste of the SEC against the Vols. Plus, we'll take you inside the I-4 war when the Knights and Bulls meet for an interstate battle. Start your Chevy tailgate Saturday weekend with Rec Warehouse College Kickoff. Friday at 7, only on Sun Sports.
Halftime in Gainesville, it's the Florida Gators, the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech from Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. And don't forget, next week, Philip Fulmer's Tennessee Volunteers, number 4 in the nation, come to the Swamp to take on the Florida Gators. And we've got all the action for you on Sun Sports. Breakfast with the Gators at 8:30 on Sunday morning. Florida and Tennessee, what a rivalry. Southeastern Conference football at its very best. We've got more halftime from Gainesville when we come back. The Gators and the Bulldogs.
Tragedy can happen anytime, any place, to anyone. When the winds of disaster fade, one organization is always there. An army of compassion. Help turn tragedy into recovery. 1-800-SALARMY.org.
The worst part was the pressure. Phone calls at home, phone calls at work, letters in the mail.
It was nice to help. Since Debt Free works with thousands of creditors, we got his interest lowered and his penalties eliminated.
Every day, thousands of people call Debt Free, a nonprofit organization.
I was snapping at everyone, on edge all the time. I just didn't know how to deal with it.
I think it was the first good news she'd heard in a long time. I explained everything Debt Free could do to help her, and we figured out she could pay off her debts in 5 years and still have money left over every month.
I wanted to do something. I just didn't know where to start.
I showed her she could make just one monthly payment, and she didn't need to borrow money to do it.
Stop running from debt. Call Debt Free today.
I'm back to my old self. I'm glad I called Debt Free.
I'm not snapping at people anymore.
If you're overwhelmed by debt, gather your bills and call Debt Free now.
I'm getting out of debt, and I'm doing it myself. And I'm pretty proud of that.
Now everything you need for Florida fishing can be found in one convenient box. Chevy Florida Fishing Report, Thursday on Sun Sports.
Welcome back to the Swamp in Gainesville. The Gators lead Louisiana Tech 21-3 at the end of the first half. Deshaun Wynn with all 3 touchdowns for the Florida Gators. Urban Meyer determined to get the ground game going, and the Gators have done just that with 149 yards rushing in the first half of football. Beautiful night in Gainesville, Florida. Sellout crowd on hand, and the pride of the sunshine with some alumni band members helping out tonight. Let's listen in.
Edition of the Pride of the Sunshine, the University of Florida Fighting Gator Marching Band. The Gator Band is under the direction of Dr. David Wainwright. Associate Director of Bands is Gary
Pride of the Sunshine Marching Band at the University of Florida. It's halftime. Florida leading Louisiana Tech by the score of 21-3. Time for our halftime feature. At an earlier age these days, it seems like young athletes pick a sport to specialize in and leave the rest of them behind, but not Florida football, baseball star Gavin Dickey. Here's Larry Vitale with a look at a young man filled with enough passion and purpose to earn him success and admiration on both the gridiron and the diamond.
When Urban Meyer arrived at Florida, he found, among other things, his backup quarterback was also the left fielder on the baseball team. Meyer had to share Gavin Dickey with baseball coach Pat McMahon.
I hated it, but I also have great respect for Gavin Dickey. I have great respect for our baseball team. I mean, Gavin Dickey got to go play in the College World Series. Me or you never got to do that, so I mean, God bless him, and I'm glad he got that opportunity.
But Meyer soon learned that Dickey grew up wanting to be a baseball player, just like his dad. In fact, football only entered the picture for the potential of a college scholarship.
Growing up, I always played baseball and football. I played baseball a little more than football, but
As I got older, I realized that football presented an opportunity for me to go to college, and then I started to play football.
So football pays the bills, while baseball feeds the passion. And Gavin Dickey pulls double duty while others watch on in amazement and sometimes amusement.
We call him the mayor. We're like, Gavin Dickey run for mayor, you know, just because, you know, it's funny. We know he's out working hard with football. He come over with baseball, and, you know, it just shows you how great of a person he is.
He places high demands on himself. He's a wonderful team player. We talk about a clubhouse guy. He's a guy who brings an awful lot in the locker room because he works so hard. He's so well respected by his peers and his teammates and gets along so well with everyone.
I don't know if there's even anybody else in our team that could do all the different things that we ask him to do, as well as go play baseball for, you know, for a championship baseball team.
Dickey has a role model for being a two-sport athlete, and it just might surprise Gator fans who that is.
With football, you know, I don't really like telling people a lot because I go to Florida, but Charlie Ward was always my favorite football player. I remember growing up watching him play at Florida State, and, you know, I just wanted to be and play exactly like him. That's why I wear the jersey number 17, actually.
For now, Gavin Dickey gets to enjoy the best of both worlds. In the spring, he gets to play baseball, the game that he loves. And in the fall, he gets the excitement of college football here at the University of Florida. And while Gavin Dickey loves wearing the orange and blue at Florida Field, his ultimate field of dreams can be found in New York City.
If I had to pick a goal in life right now, my goal is to play center field for the Yankees.
He made the catch!
Are you watching, Mr. Steinbrenner? In Gainesville, I'm Larry Vitale.
Florida leading 21-3. A nice feature from Larry Vitale on Gavin Dickey, a tremendous two-sport athlete for the University of Florida. Let's send you down to the sideline now with Steve Babick.
Thanks, David. You know, I think Gavin Dickey's part of a wealth of talent the Gators have at quarterback. And the thing about Gavin Dickey, and obviously covering Gator baseball, I would know this too, is that he went from Omaha, Nebraska, back to Gainesville, back to the weightlifting program in the summertime, and right into football, just no rest. So he went from football season to baseball season, back to football season. And as soon as football season is done, it's back to left field for Gavin Dickey. He's a tremendous athlete. You know, we bring in now Todd Lewis. Todd, the locker room host of the Gator postgame show. And Todd, the fun thing about a guy like Gavin Dickey, that's a great story. And top it all off, too, he's such a great kid.
He is a great kid, and not only that, you can use him in so many different ways. And we've seen it out here tonight, lining up on the wide out. He can quarterback. He can do so many things. And you're right. For him to manage being a student and an athlete the way that he's done that is remarkable.
It is very interesting the way that Urban Meyer and the offensive staff have integrated Gavin Dickey into the offense at quarterback, at wide receiver. A lot of red zone stuff is in the playbook as well for Gavin Dickey. But you know what? If it's not going to be Chris Leak or Gavin Dickey, the Gators have a chance with another quarterback, freshman Josh Portis. And boy, he displayed a lot of talent. We saw that last week.
He's a great talent. He's a young freshman coming out of California. Now, Urban Meyer, picture this. The day after he coached his biggest game in his career, the Fiesta Bowl win, while he was at Utah over Pittsburgh, the next day, he was at the Portis family house recruiting Josh. Josh committed to go to Utah. Urban said, I'm going to take a nap. Took a nap at the Portis house that day, had dinner with the family. And then, of course, Urban decided to come here to Gainesville. And Josh Portis followed him here because he wanted to be a part of this great spread option offense. Now, Portis is a fantastic talent. Threw for over 2,200 yards in California at Woodland Hills. But more importantly, he's a great runner. He's a wiggler. You ever been fishing with live bait, reach down into the water and try to get out a minnow or something? It's hard to grab a hold of him. That's what Josh Portis is. And they have such a great bond, Meyer and Portis do. Actually, Portis can maybe get away in private with calling Coach Meyer Herb in private, not in front of the rest of the teammates. But Urban Meyer said he's going to set out a number of plays just specifically designed for Josh Portis, and we've already seen a couple here. He's got a great upside. The difference now is he's got to learn that this is a different level. This is not high school, and the speed is quicker, the hits are harder, and the reads are going to have to be quicker for him too. And that's going to come with experience, but the future, I believe, is in Josh Portis' hands.
You know, we're down here talking about the quarterbacks, and there's three good ones here in Florida, but it all begins with the line, and a big part of it too is wide receivers. And a guy that knows a little bit about being a wide receiver is our partner Nat Moore upstairs. And Nat, I know that the quarterbacks are doing a great job, but they've got to have some help from those wideouts.
Well, I tell you what, Steve, if I didn't know any better, I would think Todd Lewis was a quarterback, the way he's raving about the quarterbacks. It's up to the receivers to get open, make some catches, help these guys out. The Gators have 3 actually 4 very good quarterbacks when you throw Cornelius Ingram into the mix. But the bottom line is you got to have quality receivers, which the Gators have with Chad Jackson, Bubba Caldwell, Dallas Baker, as well as Jamal Cornelius. And then the interesting part, talking about a guy like Gavin Dickey, his ability to go out and play wide receiver, to become one of those guys, his ability to line up in the backfield, his ability to play baseball. You know, the thing what I think about when I think about a Gavin Dickey is a kid that does whatever the coaches ask him to do. Even when he's playing baseball, if he's not in a ball game and they need a pinch runner, you know, he's not sitting on the bench soaking. He's doing what the coaches ask him, and that's why Urban Meyer really adores this young man.
And Nat, no doubt about that, and that's so true about Gavin Dickey. In fact, he was a big part of why Gator baseball had success. They didn't have a left fielder until Gavin Dickey was an everyday player. Now, for all these quarterbacks, Todd, how much fun is it when you learn a new system? You talk about being intrigued by an offense. All 3 quarterbacks have to be intrigued by what they're seeing right now.
Absolutely, because they bring so many different, unique weapons. And if anybody is enjoying that more than anyone else here in the Swamp, and that's Urban Meyer, because he's got guys who are playmakers. And we've talked about this throughout our broadcast. Urban Meyer's offense is predicated in getting the ball in the guys who can make big plays. And all 3 have totally distinct weapons. They're good all the way around, but they have very strong strengths that they can get the ball into the end zone.
Now, what's always good is when you have maybe something as a reference point. When Dan Mullen talks, they should listen because he coached Alex Smith. We know about Alex Smith. That has to be big.
Absolutely. When you look at the success that this offense and he has had at Utah, I mean, that's why Josh Portis came here. I mean, right now, if Urban Meyer was still at Utah, Josh Portis would probably be starting for the Utes. But he wanted to come here not only for the atmosphere, but because of this offense. He felt that Urban Meyer can build him up and make him a pro prospect 4 years from now.
We invite you again to stay tuned to after the game for the Gator postgame show. And Todd, in the locker room, I know you had fun last week and a lot of great guests. I know you're looking forward to tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to talk about this game. No disrespect to La Tech or Wyoming, but we're going to talk about Tennessee, which comes rolling in here. The big boys happen next week. A little bit of talk of that, plus we're going to relive what happened here and get to know the kids a little more.
All right, Todd, good luck tonight. We look forward to it.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, Todd Lewis will be down here. You know, during halftime, we've seen a lot of great things honored. We see Billy Donovan. His team won the Southeastern Conference Basketball Tournament Championship last year, first time in Gator basketball history. There's a look at the Gator basketball team. Stay with us. Our halftime score, Florida 21, Louisiana Tech 3. More to come after this timeout right here on Sun Sports.
Imagine having a direct line to this guy. Presenting Gator Hotline, the only show that lets you go one-on-one with Urban Meyer. Gator Hotline, Thursday at 7, only on FSN Florida.
The worst part was the pressure. Phone calls at home, phone calls at work, letters in the mail.
It was nice to help. Since Debt Free works with thousands of creditors, we got his interest lowered and his penalties eliminated.
Every day, thousands of people call Debt Free, a nonprofit organization.
I was snapping at everyone, on edge all the time. I just didn't know how to deal with it.
I think it was the first good news she'd heard in a long time. I explained everything Debt Free could do to help her, and we figured out she could pay off her debts in 5 years and still have money left over every month.
I wanted to do something. I just didn't know where to start.
I showed her she could make just 1 monthly payment, and she didn't need to borrow money to do it.
Stop running from debt. Call Debt Free today.
I'm back to my old self. I'm glad I called Debt Free.
I'm not snapping at people anymore.
If you're overwhelmed by debt, gather your bills and call Debt Free now.
I'm getting out of debt, and I'm doing it myself. And I'm pretty proud of that.
Urban's first big SEC test is here, and no other network will bring you all access like this. Go inside with the Volunteer Gator pregame show, Saturday at 7, only on Sun Sports.
We're back at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. The Florida Gators taking the field and set for the second half of football. They lead Louisiana Tech by the score of 21-3. David Steele, Nat Moore back with you here in Gainesville along with Steve Babick. And Nat, the Gators were determined to run the football for this game, and they've done just that, only thrown the ball 8 times in the first half.
Well, Urban Meyer made a commitment last week at the end of the ball game that this week we would see a much more balanced football team that can run the football, and we did see that.
Well, Deshaun Wynn, obviously a big part of this offense here tonight as he gets his feet wet. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half.
And Deshaun Wynn is the guy that gets the Gators off. He takes a quick pitch, follows the lead block of Randy Hannending off to about a 50-yard run, taking the ball down to the 4-yard line before he's pushed out of bounds. And then great blocking over the left side as he uses that extra effort on 4th and 1 to get into the end zone. And a little trickery, a little slot reverse as you get the ball into Bubba Caldwell's hands. Good blocking by the receivers downfield, and he's off to the races down to the 2-yard line. And once again, not to be denied, Deshaun Wynn pushes the pile, gets in, puts the Gators up 14-zip. And then for the hat trick, a perfectly thrown football where Deshaun Wynn goes up and shows that he can not only run the football but can catch the football. Gators up 21-3, and then as the Louisiana Tech is driving a sack by Reggie Nelson, get Donald Allen in the backfield. Just outstanding job defensively and offensively this afternoon.
And a big first half for Deshaun Wynn. 11 carries, 82 yards for Wynn. A 7.5 yard per carry average for the junior from Cincinnati, Ohio. And the Gators overall with an impressive first half statistically, except those 4 penalties for 40 yards. Only 4 penalties in the entire football game last week against Wyoming. But Florida with 215 yards of total offense compared to 114 for Louisiana Tech. Let's go to the sideline and Steve Babick.
Your thoughts on the first half?
Oh, same thing I told you before the half. I just think we need offense. Defense, I think we're playing well. We had a first turnover of the year, put our defense in bad field position. That's the only way they're scoring. So I'm anxious to get the ball here and try to get a good drive together. We're going to try to throw it around in the second half a little bit.
I know you weren't happy with the penalties.
No, penalties are a problem.
Okay, Coach. Let's go back upstairs to David and Annette.
Urban Meyer not happy with those 4 penalties, 3 of them costly in the first half. Nat, let's revisit the keys to our game, brought to you by Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer. Chevy, turn the key, start a revolution.
Well, offensively, the Gators are looking for a more balanced attack. They have been able to run the football. They ran it in the first half. In the second half, they're going to throw it around a little bit more, according to Coach Urban Meyer. But they got what they were looking for offensively in the first half, running the football with Deshaun Wynn. And for the Louisiana Tech football team, they have not been able to get a quick strike. They've only been able to score a field goal, and then defensively, they have not been able to stop the run as the Gators have ran for 149 yards in the first half.
Number 33, Brad Ostricker.
And it'll be Louisiana Tech kicking off to start the second half. Brad Ostricker, the kickoff man for the Bulldogs, a sophomore from Metairie, the New Orleans area. Andre Caldwell, Bubba back deep for the Gators. And it's going to be Caldwell from 2 yards deep. The explosive junior out of Tampa with the flag down brings the ball out to the 30-yard line. A 32-yard return, but a penalty flag is on the play. The tackle by Gregory Hollins, number 40.
On the return, holding number 22 on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
And again, a mistake by Florida. Their 5th penalty flag thrown against them tonight. And Urban Meyer obviously unhappy about this penalty to start this third quarter. He probably spent half of the halftime talking about not committing those foolish mistakes. And the first play of the third period is
first and 10 at the 14.
A yellow flag on him.
Yellow flag that takes away good field position. Now you're forced to start inside your own 15-yard line. The Gators have enjoyed good field position in the first half, and starting the second half, you start off with bad field position.
2-step drop, and a pass caught by Cornelius at the 18-yard line, a gain of about 5. Jamal Cornelius out of Fort Meade, a 4th-year junior. Part-time starter last year. He started 5 games.
Gain of 4.
He's another one of those multi-talented athletes, a high school quarterback at Fort Meade High. Had 1 catch last week in a game against Wyoming. Cornelius with his first catch of the ball game tonight. That was about a 4-yard pickup. It's 2nd down and 6. And Leak's pass almost picked off, and then Cornelius had a chance to make the play, but Leak throwing it into a crowd of white shirts. That ball incomplete as it was almost picked off by Robertson. He's had a couple of chances to intercept the ball tonight.
Yeah, Louisiana Tech plays a three-man line, and sometimes you get Robertson where he's down, and then other times he's up playing a linebacker position. That time he was back in coverage. You know, they're not coming after the Gators trying to sack him. What they're doing is coming with a three-man rush, every now and then a four-man rush. They're just dropping the coverage.
Leak with good protection. His pass incomplete. Intended for Caldwell. Would have been a first down. Catchable, but thrown a little bit behind him.
He pulled him back into the defender that time. You know, what you want to do against a zone defense, David, is you want to find the open area. That time, Andre Caldwell went down, found an open area, sat down in it, and Chris Leak led him back into coverage as the ball was thrown slightly behind him. Very difficult catch, but one that Andre will tell you he could have caught.
Franklin, the deep man for Louisiana Tech. Eric Wilbur fumbles the ball. He's in trouble, but somehow gets it out of there. And it's going to get a Gator roll. Boy, this could have been complete disaster, but Wilbur's heads-up play after he showed some bad hands on that snap. He recovered nicely to get that ball away.
But, David, you said it. Heads-up play. Ball goes through his hands. He's smart enough to get the football, catches it, gets some room, and just sort of soccer-style kicks it as he just tries to get it out of there. You know, even if he kicks it out of bounds, he don't care. He just don't want to get sacked back there or not tackled back there where you put the Gator defense in bad position. Just a good job of getting it off.
And winds up Nat with a 30-yard punt out near midfield. Louisiana Tech at the Florida 49. Dillard hit by Brandon Silent after a gain of 1. Bulldogs ran for 50 yards in the first half on 16 carries.
And David, it just seemed like to me when you have a team with this much speed on defense, what the offense will try and do to you is to get some misdirection, trying to come out the back door. That time, nice job of staying at home, playing the defense, staying in your gap by the Gator defense.
Matt Kubik back at quarterback for the Bulldogs. He throws it, fortunately for Louisiana Tech, away from the receiver Chambers because D. Webb had him covered up very well.
I think he actually just tried to throw that ball away because D. Webb was not even thinking about the receiver running by him, and he just stepped right in front of Chambers, and if this ball was on the money, it would have been 6 going the other way.
Senior Matt Kubik out of Youngstown, Ohio. Long line of good quarterbacks here at Louisiana Tech. Kubik and Allen have split the duties tonight. Chambers has been his primary guy and makes another catch at Port St. Joe, Florida. This one close to a Bulldog first down. They'll spot his forward progress at the 39. Earl Everett made the tackle. It looks from our vantage point, Nat, as if they're going to be a little bit short of the first down. They're going to bring the chains on.
They will measure, but good job by D. Webb making the initial hit and then getting help from Earl Everett to finish him off and make the tackle.
Chains have to come from one side of the field to the other. And it is not a first down.
Oh, let's go back and take another look at it. You'll see D. Webb in coverage, and just as Chambers catches the football, he spins him back, and Chambers breaks the tackle, but Earl Everett is there to finish him off short of the first down.
It appears the Bulldogs will go for it, trailing 21-3 at the Florida 39-yard line early in the third quarter on 4th down and inches. The running back is Mark Dillard. More physical of their two running backs, and he's in there on this short yardage situation.
And I would expect him to run behind the Lombardi and Remington Award candidates, Lips and Stewart, over the left side.
Lips number 64, it's a quarterback keeper. Boy, Kubik did not get much penetration.
And he might have gotten it there at the end as he stretched the ball out at the bottom of the pile.
Going to depend upon the spot. Line judge moving in to put the ball down. And they may have to measure again. Here come the chains.
They've got to measure. It's just that close. I mean, good job up front by the Gator defensive line of not allowing them any movement, and they hold.
Well, they needed 4 inches, and they only got 2. So it's Florida football as they hold on 4th and inches. So the Gators take over at the 39-yard line as they deny the Bulldogs after a short punt by Eric Wilbur. We'll be back.
Are your eyes open? So are we.
There's more than one way to make a shake. And we admit, their way is more efficient. But when was the last time you sipped a shake and said, that tastes efficient?
Well, you've completed your grill training, so I'm proud to make you one of us.
Does that mean I'm ready to make hamburgers?
Steak and Shake. When I go to Publix, I get more than just groceries. It's also where I get advice. You see, every time I visit my friends in the Publix meat department, they always have plenty of great menu suggestions and helpful cooking tips. Plus, if I have a special request, they always deliver. So out of all the different people who help me in the Publix meat department, the one thing that's always the same is the great service.
Publix, where serving you has been our pleasure for 75 years.
As the sweltering days of summer come to pass, the time comes for an event so momentous it can't be missed. The Toyota Time Clearance Event. To get a great deal, you have to start with great vehicles like Tacoma, the Motor Trend 2005 Truck of the Year. Or check out the Tundra Double Cab with the available XSP Sport Package. Offers extended. With available cash back and the Sport Package discount, get $4,000 in total savings. Catch astonishing Labor Day values now. When it comes to deals like these, everyone wins. That's moving you forward.
College football on Sun Sports is brought to you in part by Simply Orange. Simply unfooled around with. Florida's co-defensive coordinator Charlie Strong having a chat with some of his guys down there, and you can't say enough again, Nat, about the play of that defensive line and that the entire Florida defense here tonight against Louisiana Tech.
Well, I think it's more just in there congratulating them on an outstanding effort. You get the ball on your side of the territory, you go 4th and inches, and you get a big stop. Just a tremendous job by the Gator defense of going through what they call sudden change and stopping the Louisiana Tech team from even getting a first down on 4 tries.
Charlie Strong, what a class act and terrific football coach in his 4th stint as an assistant coach at the University of Florida. He just keeps coming back to Gainesville. And Deshaun Wynn keeps coming back with one good effort after another. This one going to be about an 8-yard carry on first down. Wynn now about 10 yards shy of a 100-yard rushing game.
And I think what we're seeing here is if they're going to play this 3-man line and drop 5 in coverage, then you've got to run the football. There's not as many holes when you're trying to throw the ball against a 3-man rush with 8 people back in coverage. You just want to give it to your tailback, Deshaun Wynn, get some holes up front, let him pick his hole, and get the first down. Just good running, good blocking up front by the Gator offense.
And it's Leak on the keep. After a nice fake in there to Deshaun Wynn, Louisiana Tech sucked into the middle, and Leak is able to pick up a first down. Alton Bryant is the man on the tackle number 9 for Louisiana Tech.
Well, Alton Bryant makes this tackle, but as Chris Leak runs the option more and more, he will start to learn to pitch that football. Chad Jackson is the runner. He's the playmaker. You want to get out there, force the guy to take it, and then pitch it to Chad Jackson instead of letting them string the ball out toward the sideline. He's got to turn it up and then pitch it.
This is Wynn to the 45. A flag is thrown as Wynn steps out of bounds at the 39.
Forced out of bounds by number 4, Des Abrams.
Gain of 5, but there is a penalty flag, rather 10, but there is a penalty flag on the play. as Adam Abrams made the tackle number 4 for the Bulldogs.
Replay first down.
And it's another penalty. Steve Babick against the Gators, this time a hold.
And that's after, too, when the Gator offense was on the sideline. You've got a lot of coaches on the sideline. Dan Mullen with the quarterbacks, Billy Gonzalez with the receivers, Stan Drayton with the running backs, and John Hevesy with the offensive line. And there was a lot of coaching going on while the defense was out there. The offense, beside Deshaun Wynn, there's been a lot of things missing tonight. The rhythm's not there.
That backs the Gators up to the 41. Keyston Moore, the freshman from Texas, the ball carrier, gets about a yard. And a little pushing and shoving there between that's Santiago, the all-WAC linebacker, and Lance Butler getting into it a little bit.
Wow. If I'm Santiago, Lance Butler at 6'6", 310 pounds is not the guy that I want to get upset at me.
And Santiago comes off the field. You know they don't want him off the field for too many plays. But they remove him to calm down a little bit. It's 2nd down and long. First down marker all the way down at the 39 of Louisiana Tech. Shovel pass. First time we've seen that tonight. It goes to Chad Jackson, and Jackson slipped in the gain of only 3. Jackson last week for the Gators had 10 catches and 3 touchdowns, and also ran 5 yards for a touchdown.
And he'll get better at running this play. He's used to running down the field catching the ball as a receiver versus catching that shovel pass. That time he caught the football and he's looking to come out the back door, but it wasn't there. He had to, if he would have stayed with the play a little bit longer, he might have been able to pop it out the front side.
Florida is 3rd and 16 at their 44. Leak looking downfield. Baker with the catch, and he's about a yard beyond the first down marker. That is a perfectly run play to get just enough, picking up 18 yards and a first down in Louisiana Tech territory.
And this is an outstanding throw, as this time Chris Leak has to throw the ball over the Will linebacker, Quinn Harris, and he throws it up and over, just perfectly thrown football to Dallas Baker to pick up the first down.
Dallas Baker, the leading receiver for the Gators tonight so far, with 4 catches, going for 52 yards.
Had 5 catches last week as well.
Senior out of New Smyrna Beach. Leak looking deep, going for Baker. He's got separation, but it looks like he got a little off balance. Might have been tripped up a little bit running shoulder to shoulder with Williams down there, and the pass is incomplete.
And you've got Dallas Baker going against their number 1 defender, number 1 DB, Tramon Williams, who last year had 4 interceptions, just a perfectly thrown spiral, needed to get it out just a little bit further as the ball's just a tad short and inside. Made it very tough for Dallas to get back inside and make the reception.
2nd and 10 from the 37. Gavin Dickey is wide to the right. Hands off to Wynn. Great blocking up the middle. And then those linebackers led by Santiago and also Robertson closed quickly. They've got 4 very good linebackers, and after Wynn broke through the line of scrimmage, they closed quickly on the play.
Well, David, what they're doing is they're lining up 5 to 6 yards deep, and they're waiting to see the handoff and then reacting up versus being stuck up in the line of scrimmage and then trying to get a drop. This way they get good drops against the pass, and they get to react quickly to the run.
This time it is Wynn split wide to the right. He caught a touchdown pass in the first half. Leak throwing the other way for Caldwell. He's got it at the 10-yard line of Louisiana Tech. Bubba Caldwell. That is his first reception of the football game.
Another perfectly thrown football as Bubba Caldwell is running a little corner route. Good job of threatening the safety deep to the middle and then coming back out to the corner. Ball is perfectly thrown right on the sideline where only Andre Caldwell could get the catch.
Well, last week, Caldwell, Jackson, and Baker combined for 22 catches against Wyoming. Starting to add up here in the 3rd quarter. Wynn tripped up. Oh, a nice defensive play by Abrams. Deshaun Wynn Moving the football inside the 10. They'll spot him at about the 8. We'll call it the 7, Nat.
And that was a good tackle by Des Abram, but you saw where he was as he started to come up and make the tackle on Deshaun Wynn. He was down around his ankles. He was not going to take him on high because of the 230 pounds that he would have to get ran over by, is the way I see it.
He's a load, that Wynn is. And it is Leak looking for the end zone. Rifles it a little bit too high. And incomplete for Chad Jackson. Steve, what do you got on the sideline?
You know, David, you mentioned about Bubba Caldwell, his first catch. I looked at some numbers on my paper, and, you know, last weekend, the receivers, by both running and receiving, accounted for 334 of Florida's 411 yards. Wow, what a change in 1 week, hasn't it? It's been more the Deshaun Wynn show.
Well, it's been about trying to get something done other than throwing the football. You know that you can throw the football. You want to establish a running game, and the Gators have been able to do that.
And like you said, Nat, it's all about balance, is what Urban Meyer wants in this offense. Leak throwing for the end zone again. He threaded it right in there. There's a flag drop. The pass is caught by Jackson. Let's see what the penalty flag. Maybe the defender got there too soon. He caught the ball anyway.
Caught the ball anyway, David. And, you know, the tough part about this for Chad Jackson is he made a great catch as we wait for the referee's announcement. But because as he was catching the ball and getting hit, the ball never crossed the goal line. He won't get the touchdown. He'll get the ball at the 1 inch-yard line.
The pass was incomplete, but on the play, pass interference, defense, number 8. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
We only thought he caught the ball. Hamilton is called for pass interference.
Well, here's another look at it. Just a little turn route, turn inside. And you can see that Hamilton got there before the ball did. And that's why the call of pass interference. Right there, he goes over the top. And I thought, well, no, it looked like he caught it, but it came out. It did come out. The officials were right.
Timeout taken now as Florida stops the clock. That is the 3rd pass interference call against Louisiana Tech. Jack Bicknell said before the game he knew they had their hands filled trying to defend Florida's wide receivers, and they have tonight. Florida knocking at the door again, leading 21-3.
Live this week, we preview Urban's first taste of the SEC against the Vols. Plus, we'll take you inside the I-4 war. Rec Warehouse College Kickoff, Friday at 7, only on Sun Sports.
The worst part was the pressure. Phone calls at home, phone calls at work, letters in the mail.
It was nice to help. Since Debt Free works with thousands of creditors, we got his interest lowered and his penalties eliminated.
Every day, thousands of people call Debt Free, a nonprofit organization.
I was snapping at everyone, on edge all the time. I just didn't know how to deal with it.
I think it was the first good news she'd heard in a long time. I explained everything Debt Free could do to help her, and we figured out she could pay off her debts in 5 years and still have money left over every month.
I wanted to do something. I just didn't know where to start.
I showed her she could make just 1 monthly payment, and she didn't need to borrow money to do it.
Stop running from debt. Call Debt Free today.
I'm back to my old self. I'm glad I called Debt Free.
I'm not snapping at people anymore.
If you're overwhelmed by debt, gather your bills and call Debt Free now.
I'm getting out of debt, and I'm doing it myself. And I'm pretty proud of that.
Imagine having a direct line to this guy. Presenting Gator Hotline, the only show that lets you go one-on-one with Urban Meyer. Gator Hotline, Thursday at 7, only on FSN.
Well, there's your score with 8:12 to play in the 3rd quarter. It's time for tonight's Ask Nat question. Comes from Gina in Ocoee. And he has a question about the effect of the home crowd, Nat. How does it play, what role does it play for the Gators?
Well, it's big because anytime you're looking at the home crowd and they realize the importance of a ball game, for instance, right now with the Gators trying to go in and score, you notice it gets a little quieter because they're educated enough to realize that they need to be able to get the snap count up. The home crowd can intimidate the opponents, but also could be a helping hand with the local team, the offense and the defense.
One of the loudest venues in college football, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. Gators knocking on the north end zone goal line. Leak sends Jackson in motion. Rolling out, he's got Jackson to his right. He spins away from a defender and scores the touchdown. Robert Burrell had a chance at him back in the backfield, but Leak shows what a terrific athlete he is and puts the ball into the end zone.
Chris's ability to escape would-be tacklers in a closed area is phenomenal. This time, Robert Burrell has him dead to rights. You know, he's got him stopped, and instead of pitching the football right here, he just makes a quick spin back to the inside and have the awareness of where the goal line is.
Edlund's extra point is no good. Gators had a couple of muffed extra points last week against Wyoming, and one here raising its head in the third quarter. The Gators still lead the Bulldogs, however, 27-3 as Chris Leak runs one in.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Behold, a salad that speaks to me, my individuality. McDonald's new sesame ginger premium salad, lush with snow peas, edamame, oranges of the mandarin persuasion, glazing chicken warm and tender. I surrender to Newman's own low-fat dressing, dancing, romancing every crispy, crunchy bite. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. I believe I have achieved salad inner peace.
Chevy's proud to have the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And Suburban, ranked highest in initial quality. We've always broken the rules. Now we're rewriting them with the Chevy employee discount for everyone. You pay what we pay, not a cent more. Get an 05 Silverado half-ton extended cab with an MSRP of $28,880 for a Chevy employee discount price of $21,610 after cash back. See your Southern Chevy dealers.
Tradition is part of this game. Great traditions last because they're based on the fundamentals of hard work, preparation, and the will to win. That's the Gator tradition, and that's why Simply Orange has become a tradition for the Gators. It's all about the fundamentals. Pure, quality, 100% orange juice. Not flavored, not sweetened, not from concentrate. A simply fresh squeezed taste experience. Simply Orange, simply unfooled around with.
We see the extra point yet? We're back here in Gainesville. The Gators leading now 27-3. Going to try and get another look at that extra point because the Gators had problems with this last week. Now let's see if we can figure out what happened. Looked like a good snap, a good hold. I don't think the blame goes anywhere except the kicker on that one. Do you?
Yeah, it looked like he just pushed it wide right. Never got it hooking into the middle. Chris Hedlund was the SEC Special Teams Player of the Week after the Wyoming game, kicking 2 field goals, and just one that got away from him, David.
Yeah, Matt Kynes did a nice job on the hole. James Smith, good snap that time. He just pushed it wide. So the Gators settle for a 27-3 advantage. With 8:05 left in the third quarter. From the swamp on a very warm and humid Saturday night. Eric Wilbur kicking it off. What a great kickoff by Wilbur. Going to be returned by Jackson. And Patrick Jackson brings it out across the 25 to about the 28-yard line for Louisiana Tech.
Patrick Jackson on the return.
Jackson, a freshman out of Edgard, Louisiana. Stop by Emerson Alumni Hall for the Gator Nation tailgate presented by the UF Alumni Association. The ultimate tailgate experience starts 3 hours before kickoff of the Tennessee game next Saturday right here in Gainesville. Volunteers have the week off, Nat. They were unimpressive in their opener against UAB. Florida playing its second game tonight. Does that help Tennessee? I think it does, probably, to have a week off, and probably helps Florida to be able to play this week. Two different situations. The veteran team in Tennessee. The Gators have a lot of things to work on.
Well, I think it helps them as D. Webb gets hit with the holding pass interference penalty on Jonathan Holland as he grabs him and goes inside. But getting back to Tennessee, Tennessee, after struggling against
Pass
UAB.
interference, defense number 15. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Well, as we were saying, going back to Tennessee, after struggling the way they did against UAB, they probably went into the ball game not wanting to show much, being that was the only ball game. They didn't want to give the Gators something to look at, but by the same token, they were taken to the umph. They should have lost the ball game, and so they've got a lot of corrections they've got to make, so they needed that extra week. Where the Gators wanted to get the running game corrected, so they needed to play this week.
Against game competition, which Louisiana Tech providing the opposition here in this one. That penalty gives the Bulldogs a first down. The handoff is to Dillard, and he gets a yard or two to the 45-yard line.
Outstanding play that time by Marcus Thomas. As you know, he's playing a two-gap responsibility on the big guard, number 78, Marcus Lindsey. Keeps vision in the backfield, sees the release of the football, and just as the running back, Dillard, tries to cut it back, he reaches out and makes the tackle. Outstanding play by Marcus Thomas.
Junior out of Jacksonville. Second down and 9 from the 45. Kubik scrambling. Chased by Everett. And his pass is caught by Chambers. Nice throw running to his left, throwing back to his right, and a good catch by Seneca Chambers out of Port St. Joe.
Just a real nice job by Kubik as he's able to avoid the rush of Jeremy Mincy. Good job of stepping up and then getting outside, using his athleticism, and then a nice job of squaring the shoulders. Look how he squared his shoulders to make the throw.
Vernell Brown was there, but perfectly thrown pass by Matt Kubik. And the Bulldogs have a first down at the Florida 41-yard line. They run the option. Little Urban Meyer flavor in this Louisiana Tech offense, and the Gators, they've seen that in practice. Mark Dillard, the ball carrier.
Well, as
Mark
Dillard
makes the play.
As Mark Dillard got the football, looked like there were 4 Gators that was in that offensive huddle that heard the play, because they were all out there as he caught the pitch and threw him for a big loss.
Everett and Mincy, great pursuit on the last 2 plays for the Gator defense. And a loss of 2 on the play, 2nd and 12. Kubik has time. Now Thomas chasing. And Kubik throws it into the front row.
Wow. If you're going to throw it away, make sure that you throw it away. And
they don't let you keep it.
And it just goes to show you that even the Gator fans have hands, as you saw that reception up in the stands.
Nice catch by a man on the front row where I think he had a cowboy hat on.
Oh, man.
Keep that glare of those lights on the west side from getting in his eyes down on the east side of the stadium.
But the hat is orange.
3rd down and 12. 3-man front for the Gators. They're in the nickel defense. Kubik's pass incomplete. Newman had a chance at it. It got in and out of his hands, and it'll bring up 4th down for Louisiana Tech.
Well, this was a perfectly thrown football to Eric Newman, but I think he saw a couple Gator defenders out of the corner of his eyes and just didn't keep his concentration on the football.
Yeah, a little Gator arm here in Gator country.
It's catching.
Newman, the senior out of Oak Grove, Louisiana. Now it's Chris Cagle. They had one of the more memorable punts for us in the first half, -3. Young man getting his first college action, a freshman. And for the most part, he's done a nice job. This a good high kick and a fair catch made at the 9-yard line by Vernell Brown. Don't forget, immediately following today's game and immediately following every Gator football game, you can turn to Sun Sports for exclusive post-game coverage, including the coach's post-game press conference, some player interviews, and some highlights of the game as well. Gator post-game tonight after the game exclusively on Sun Sports, anchored by Whit Watson, our Todd Lewis in the stadium, down in the locker room talking to Gator players. And boy, if you're into Gator football, you don't want to be anywhere else on a game night than Sun Sports. Chris Leak's numbers tonight: 9 out of 16, 114 yards. Shovel pass. Jackson to the 15, a gain of 7. And it'll be a 2nd and 3 coming up for the Gators.
And that's what you want to see Chad Jackson do on this shovel pass. You'll see as they come out to the left, he catches the football, turns it upfield. Just try and split them. Turn on the speed. Get as much as you can. Give yourself a positive first down play. Here's another look. Good pitch. Catches the football, tucks it away, and just drives forward for 7 yards.
Jackson not as busy tonight as he was a week ago, but still has made some plays for the Gators. Hand off to Deshaun Wynn. He's got 100 yards for the night, looking for a few additional. Still on his feet. Well, he had 100. He might have lost it. Now he might have gotten it back.
I tell you what,
I like his effort.
There is no quit in Deshaun Wynn. You know, he didn't get to play last week, so he's got a lot of energy, and he's showing you that here tonight as he had the first down, got pushed back, you know, thought his forward progress was stopped, and he just kept those legs moving and broke loose and got it back up for the first down at the 20-yard line.
He's got 101 on the night. If he doesn't run backwards again, he'll have his 2nd 100-yard game in his career. The other one against Miami. Back in the Orange Bowl, a 100-yard game right on the nose against the Hurricanes. Play action. Leak wants to go deep. Jackson breaking free. Chad Jackson. Touchdown, Florida. Yards on the play, Nat Moore.
Well, David, I think Chad Jackson heard you. You say we haven't heard a lot about Chad Jackson. Chris Leak heard it. He sits back, got great protection, good clean pocket. Chad Jackson is 8 yards behind the closest defender in the secondary.
We got the left-footed Nappy, Eric Nappy kicking, and it is Fleming holding, and the Gators pound in the extra point with a new holder and a new kicker. As Eric Nappy, the junior from Gainesville, gets his first point as a Florida Gator. What a great story, a local kid. Got to be a dream come true for young Eric Nappy to hit an extra point here in Gainesville. Look at how wide open Chad Jackson, how much separation he got behind that secondary, Nat.
Well, he's in the slot, and he just runs straight down the middle of the field, and a great job by the offensive line. I'm telling you, Chris Leak had all day to throw the football, and as he goes to step up to throw the football, he's got so much room, he's able to launch this baby, and Chad Jackson catches it, takes it all in for a touchdown.
And the left-footed Eric Nappy with the hold from Nick Fleming. Right down the middle.
In golf, they call that center cut.
You would know a lot more about that than I.
Well, my putts have never center cut. You know, sometimes they leak in, but they're never center cut.
As long as they go in.
That's the key.
No doubt about that. An extra point by Nappy. And the Gators building a 34-3 lead with 4:14 to play here in the third period. Steve, what you got?
Well, but when the game began, we talked about one of the storylines, the return game, and it's been a mixed bag. We saw Bubba Caldwell get some yards on a kickoff return, but then fumble it. And we've seen Vernell Brown make catches, but also muff one punt, but got it back. But a new storyline maybe for next week might be the kicking game, because the Gators have got to find out who their place kicker is, and also we saw Eric Wilbur drop a punt snap, so they've got to work on their special teams.
I agree. Those are the things you will not be able to get away with in the SEC.
Jackson going east and west a little bit. Manages to get the ball out across the 15 to about the 17-yard line, where Dallas Baker is among other defenders for the Gators to make the play. Latsko there as well.
Yeah, Bubba Latsko did a nice job of staying at home because the receiver did a good job of selling the run out to the left, spin it back, and then turn back, and there was Mr. Latsko.
Well, that is your consummate team player right there. Latsko going to do whatever you ask him to do. You wanted to play tight end, fine. Fullback, fine. Linebacker, fine. Special teams, no problem.
Doesn't matter. Billy is always saying, just tell me what you want me to do, Coach.
Ball carrier is Franklin. This time, Franklin and Dillard alternating throughout the night. Neither one has had very much success at the running back spot. Dillard 11 carries, 37 yards. Franklin 5 carries, now 6 carries and 22 yards. This Louisiana Tech team opening its season here tonight. They did not have a game canceled. This was their first game scheduled. Well, the Hurricane did not set their schedule back as it did many teams in the Louisiana-Mississippi area. Blitz from Webb on a corner. Deflection. McCullough's got the interception. Nicely done by McCullough, the fifth-year senior out of McClenny. His first career interception for the Florida Gators. And it's a nice one, Matt. Good hands and then concentration to bring it in.
Well, and I tell you this, David. Todd McCullough is going to sit back in here. And what he does is he gets a good deep drop. He's just watching the quarterback eyes. He's reading it all the way. Now watch him bat it up to himself, keeps good concentration on the football, and then catches it. But you can tell he's not a running back after he gets the interception. But a nice job of playing the defense, making a play.
Nobody ever accused him of that, Matt. Third interception of the night. Kubik having a conversation on the sideline. Second team offensive lineman getting some snaps. Troutwine's in there. As Leak looking for Baker. It's a jump ball, and who's got it? Incomplete. Well, I like Baker's chances at 6'3", and a guy with a big vertical, the senior out of New Smyrna, but he could not bring it in.
Well, the problem there for Dallas Baker, and what made it a difficult catch, is he's sandwiched between two defenders, and he doesn't get the lift that he wants. Nice job by Williams of going up, trying to knock it away, but as you can see, he gets bumped just as he's going up to catch the ball, comes very close to getting that reception, but he gets knocked out of there by Alton Bryant.
Portis, the quarterback, the freshman from California. A triple shift to now send Skylar Thornton in the ball game in motion. Portis keeps. Portis to the 20-yard line, a 6-yard carry for the freshman. The leading rusher a week ago for the Gators against Wyoming, and only 5 carries. He had 45 yards.
And when you have a quarterback like a Josh Portis that can run the football, he becomes an extra body. Normally, your quarterback's throwing the football, trying to get it in the hands of someone else. Josh Portis can do both, and a lot of times what you do, he's the unaccounted for guy on defense. So therefore, when the quarterback takes off and runs, there's no one for him as you start to match up.
And he played in an offense similar to Urban Meyer's offense in high school and ran for over 800 yards last year as a senior. And in case you're wondering, you watched Portis last week and again this week. He does have a very good arm. He can throw the ball as well.
Offense, number 4, penalty, still third down.
But he's a freshman.
Well, but David, you know, when you talk about Josh Portis, everybody talks about his ability to run the football. What you forget is that in high school, he threw for close to 2,300 yards, 36 touchdowns against only 7 interceptions, along with running for close to 900 yards.
At the 25.
So when you start to look at this young man, he has so much talent, but he's young. He's got to learn to play at this level.
And a penalty back to the 30. Portis firing his first pass completion as a Florida Gator. Chad Jackson, or rather Jamal Cornelius, number 6 on the receiving end. And you got some of that yardage back to the 25-yard line.
Good safe throw where you just pick up part of that yardage to give yourself a good third down and should I say fourth down and medium situation if you choose to go for it. It looked like the Gators are going to go for it on 4th and 4.
And Chris Leak re-enters. At the Louisiana Tech 25. Leak's got a man open. It is Jackson, and Jackson has the first down for the Gators. Chad Jackson on the receiving end of an 80-yard touchdown pass a moment ago, and now picks up first down yardage from Chris Leak.
You bring Chris Leak back in, you bring in your number 1 quarterback, you want to go for it on 4th down, get the reps. A nice little Lex O where Chad Jackson starts across the middle as he's going to go across the middle and spins back out. Chris Leak hits him perfectly on the break. First down, Gators.
Leak has thrown for over 200 yards tonight for the 18th time in his career. Pressure coming. Leak throwing. Baker with the catch. Baker steps over the defender, Bryant, and out of bounds he goes at the 3-yard line. Finally taken away by Barry Robertson. Number 9 got stepped on.
Wow. Dallas Baker has caught quite a few balls, but has not been able to get in the end zone. That time he didn't get in the end zone, but it wasn't because he didn't put forth the effort. You know, he makes the catch. Good job by Chris Leak of getting the football. Now watch him run over middle linebacker Terrence Alexander as well as Alton Bryant trying to get in the end zone. Just an excellent effort by Dallas Baker.
Ball is spotted deep in Louisiana Tech territory at about the 1.5. And Leak throwing. Baker knocked away and incomplete. Nice defensive play by Tramon Williams.
And I'll tell you this here, most times as a coach, as a offensive coordinator, you'll say, Chris, why would you throw that ball? He's covered. Well, Chris is trying to give Dallas Baker a chance to make the play. And you notice where he throws it, up high, where Dallas has a chance to go up and take it away. But he's going against Tramon Williams, which is a senior cornerback and the best cornerback on this football team for Louisiana Tech.
Gators have Skylar Thornton in the backfield with Leak. Thornton gets the handoff. Looking for the signal, but he was denied near the goal line. Skylar Thornton carried the ball for 36 yards last week, averaged 4.5 yards a carry. As in the game last week, it was Thornton and Moore, the freshman, and redshirt freshman Manson carried the ball 15 times from the running back spot. Tonight, Deshaun Wynn has had 16 carries all by himself.
Well, Deshaun Wynn has been the workhorse, but now you're getting good movement by that offensive line. They're starting to feel good about themselves. You got the second-team offensive line in there, and just a great job of getting movement by Steve Rissler and Drew Miller and Jim Tartt, all that an entire offensive line.
Ball, the nose of the football almost on the goal line. As the third quarter comes to a close in Gainesville. The Florida Gators ranked number 10 in the nation, flexing their muscles against Louisiana Tech out of the Western Athletic Conference.
Imagine having a direct line to this guy. Presenting Gator Hotline, the only show that lets you go one-on-one with Urban Meyer. Gator Hotline, Thursday at 7, only on FSN.
Announcing $24.95 Bell South Fast Access DSL. It's a price so low, I'm staying right here to see if that price is going to last.
Now get incredible internet speed at one low price. Because unlike those introductory deals, Fast Access DSL is only $24.95 a month, every month.
Still $24.95. How about a little kung pao chicken?
$24.95 a month. No gimmicks, no limited time pricing, guaranteed.
Hey, Mom. Hey, bad news. I'm going to miss Groundhog Day. So cold.
With one price, you won't have huge internet bills, unexpected costs, or slow dial-up.
Come on, people. This price couldn't last much longer. Hey, Pat. The price doesn't change.
Right.
Right back.
Call now and you can get a free MP3 player plus Napster Music free for 3 months. Bell South Fast Access DSL. Now just $24.95 a month, every month.
Urban's first big SEC test is here, and no other network will bring you all access like this. Go inside with the Volunteer Gator pregame show. Saturday at 7, only on Sun Sports.
Well, we go to the fourth quarter here at the Swamp in Gainesville. David Steele, Nat Moore, along with Steve Babbitt. And the Gators lead the Bulldogs 34-3. Well, you think this is a talented receiving corps with Chad Jackson, Bubba Caldwell. And tonight, what about Dallas Baker, Nat?
He's just been outstanding. He's come up with big catch after big catch, nice run after the catch. You know, the big fellow's just doing it all, doing his part. You know, each and every week you're going to have a receiver that is expected to step up. Last week it was Chad Jackson. This week it's Dallas Baker, and he stood up to the test. The Gators have several new offensive linemen in the ball game. with Steve Rissler at the center, Jim Tart at the right guard, and Phil Trotwine at the left tackle.
And Mr. Versatility, Billy Latsko was in the game at fullback. As the Gators are able to sneak it in for the touchdown.
I tell you, David, our viewers at home can't see this or doesn't see exactly what we see, but during the break, to show you the coaching of Urban Meyer, knowing that they wanted to run quarterback sneak, and sometimes the quarterback and the center get a little antsy and they end up with a fumble snap. They practiced this while standing on the sideline with a big crowd around them, where he took several snaps from Steve Rissler so that they would have the timing on that play. Just amazing coaching job by this Gator offensive coaching staff.
And another extra point for the left-footed Eric Nappy. And the Gators now with a 41-3 lead.
And what you want to do is snap the ball whenever the quarterback, he gooses the center. He gooses the center. Steve Rissler snaps the ball. That means we're ready to go. I'm going to tuck in behind you, big fella. Just take me a yard. And Steve Rissler did that, getting Chris Leak into the end zone for the touchdown.
Chris Leak's second touchdown run of the night. Let's take a look at our storyline recap brought to you by Volkswagen. We wanted to talk about the running game tonight. Nat, the Florida Gators trying to get that running game going, and they have done just that.
And they've done it with several different backs. Deshaun Wynn was off to a fast start and got him started, but Keyston Moore, also did a nice job. Then we come in with Skylar Thorne. The quarterbacks have ran well with the football, but the added bonus to it is when you have receivers that can come around on reverses or pitches that can do something with the football, the way the Gator receivers have contributed.
Well, Urban Meyer says this spread option offense is a run-first offense. It's set up by the run, and then everything else happens after that. So he was not very happy, frankly, with the team's overall offensive play last week against Wyoming. Even though they ran up some nice numbers, still, the offense works best when you can run the ball first.
And you see exactly what happened with Louisiana Tech. They came in here thinking that Florida threw the ball for 320 yards last week. We've got to stop the pass. So they start coming with this three-man rush and dropping 5 off, and the Gators just running the ball right up the middle, get good block at the point of attack and positive yardage.
Wilbur going for that coffin corner again, and this one got away from him a little bit. He kicks it out of bounds. So the Bulldogs will get the football at the 35-yard line. Well, another impressive night for junior quarterback Chris Leak out of Charlotte, North Carolina. He has done a little bit of everything tonight for the Florida Gators, Nat.
Well, he's ran with the football when he had to and tucked it in and, got the tough yardage to get the touchdown. There's another job of just quarterback sneak, getting into the end zone, and he's also thrown the ball exceptionally well. Most people know he can throw the football, but he's showing you other parts of his talent pool as he runs with the football.
Jack Bicknell, the head coach for Louisiana Tech, says he's one of the best 5 quarterbacks in college football, and I think a lot of people would agree with that.
I definitely would agree and would want to know who's the other 4.
Allen looking to throw. Donald Allen has checked in. And his pass intended for Thomas Augusta, a freshman receiver out of Edgar, Louisiana, is overthrown.
Good pressure by the Gator defense coming right up the middle, forces Donald Allen to throw this ball before he's ready, and he just overshoots his receiver, Augusta. I tell you what's amazing, looking at the way this coaching staff works with these young guys, David, is how many second and third team players get to play with the first team. I mean, we've seen quarterback exchanges where we've seen 3 different quarterbacks play. Normally, you don't get to see that with most football teams. But in Urban Meyer's mind, I would think, he's getting his second and third team quarterback ready just in case something happens. How many times you see where the star goes down and no one's ready to play? They have no experience.
A lot of Gators are getting to play tonight. Latrell Alford is a young sophomore that's on the field right now, number 99. Sophomore Clint McMillan, number 98, playing along that defensive line as well. At the moment for the Gators, 3rd down and 10 for the Bulldogs from their 35-yard line. Allen has protection, but not for long. That pocket collapsed quickly, and it's Number 99, Alford, who makes the play, or was it 91?
91.
That was hard. Alford was in there, though, getting some pressure on him, and then Harpy got the sack. Steve, what do you got?
Boy, now we talk about the Gator defensive backfield and all that talent, and a guy that's making his first appearance in the 2005 season is number 19, Tony Joyner at safety. And he's been out there the last few defensive series, guys, so it's good to get him out there because he's very athletic, a big hitter, and they want to get him in the mix.
We also saw freshman John Demps on that last series, and that young defensive group did a good job. It's 3 and out for Louisiana Tech. Chris Cagle almost had that one blocked, but a nice high spiral and a Bulldog bounce. And then Brown tried to sneak one by him. But Jonathan Holland would have nothing to do with it. So the Gators take the football, leading the Bulldogs 41-3.
Score a complete game room for less at Rec Warehouse. Save thousands on complete game room packages. Plus, save big on billiard tables, poker tables, and accessories. You'll find everything you need. Don't just stand on the sidelines. For the largest selection at the guaranteed lowest prices, get into the game room headquarters at Rec Warehouse.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Behold, a salad that speaks to me, my individuality. McDonald's new Sesame Ginger Premium Salad. Lush with snow peas, edamame, oranges of the Mandarin persuasion. Glazing chicken, warm and tender. I surrender to Newman's own low-fat dressing. Dancing, romancing every crispy, crunchy bite. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. I believe I have achieved salad inner peace.
Score a complete game room for less at Rec Warehouse. Save thousands on complete game room packages. Plus, save big on billiard tables, poker tables, and accessories. You'll find everything you need. Don't just stand on the sidelines. For the largest selection at the guaranteed lowest prices, get into the game room headquarters at Rec Warehouse.
Welcome back to the Barrett-Jackson Collector Car Auction.
Next up, it's the 2006 Dodge Charger.
It's the RT with a 340-horse Hemi, 18-inch alloys, muscular styling.
I particularly like this razor edging along here. Look at that, dual exhaust. Even the interior looks straight out of a custom shop.
75.
No, it's actually around 30.
Loaded up, straight out of the factory. Charger.
I'll take it.
Unleashed.
College football on Sun Sports is brought to you in part by your local Toyota dealers. Don't miss the Toyota Time nationwide clearance event. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Stop in today. Well, the Gators out of the SEC, number 10 in the country, taking on the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs out of the Western Athletic Conference. An odd fit for Louisiana Tech geographically. But that's where they are. Josh Portis, a freshman from Woodland Hills, California, back in at quarterback for the Gators. Well, you look at that conference with New Mexico State, Boise State, Fresno State, San Jose State, Hawaii.
There you go. That's my favorite.
That'd be a nice trip.
I ain't worried about going to New Mexico and some of those other places, but put me on the plane to Hawaii.
From Ruston, Louisiana, that's a nice trip, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
That's a nice trip from anywhere. Marcus Manson is the new tailback for the Gators. And gets his first carry of the ball game. The freshman from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Some playing time last week for the Gators. He and Skylar Thornton, Keyston Moore did most of the running last week. Deshaun Wynn did not play at all, but it's Wynn over 100 yards tonight on only 16 carries. And a handoff. Manson again. This time he's got good yardage across the 40 to the 43-yard line. The left side of Florida's offensive line opening a gaping hole.
And the Gators are starting to put in some of the second and third team offensive linemen. Just a good job by Marcus Manson of tucking in behind the left guard, left tackle. You know, he's got good explosion going through the hole once he sees a crack.
Big Carlton Metter out there. Jason Watkins, Metter 73, Watkins 77. The left side of Florida's offensive line. Terrific job on that last play. And this is Manson again across the 45, running on the right side of the line this time. Jim Tart playing over there alongside well, that's Rissler and Troutwine, 75. So you've got Rissler and Troutwine and Tart and Metter. And then the freshman Watkins that front line right now, the offensive unit for the Florida Gators.
And what a job the offensive line coach, John Hevesy, has been able to do with these guys. You see Carlton Metter, he's actually playing the left guard position where normally he had been playing right tackle.
Flag dropped. Portis have a first down to the Bulldog 44-yard line, but there is a penalty flag on the play.
David, I tell you what I see with Josh Portis as a quarterback running the
illegal
option.
Shift.
There is no
2 men moving. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, this will get called back, but the one thing you have with Josh Portis running the option is there's no indecision. Once he sees a gap, he hits it. There's a good look at offensive line coach John Hevesy, excuse me.
He was with Urban Meyer in Bowling Green and Utah. Meyer's got a great staff, and they've been coaching together. This is a group primarily that has worked together at Bowling Green and at Utah.
Which means they come in here as a coaching staff knowing what they want to get accomplished and how to get it done.
Portis on the option is dropped. A loss of yardage on the play. Number 91, Sammy Collins. A junior from Mississippi in on the stop, and it'll be third down for the Gators. Clock running, 11:20. No doubt as far as the outcome is concerned. Florida getting a lot of young players in the game right now, and so is Louisiana Tech.
Well, when you talk young players, that's great, but Kyle Morgan, number 28, the senior out of Melbourne, who just checked into the ball game as well.
Portis looking to throw. Chased out of the pocket and wrestled down by number 37, Quinn Harris. And that'll bring up fourth down for the Gators, and they will send the punt team on.
Quinn Harris makes the tackle.
Portis coming up a little gimpy.
Yeah, he got spent back and got his right leg caught up under him, and
42.
You know, that's kind of dangerous. Hopefully it's just a bruise. Nothing serious.
Dan Mullen, the youngest offensive coordinator in the SEC at age 33, talking with his very young quarterback, Josh Portis. Booming kick by Wilbur. Oh, and he fields it at the 3-yard line, but then here comes Franklin. A flag drop. Franklin across the 30 and out to the 33-yard line. You questioned his sanity for a moment, but then he made a big play out of it. And we'll see what the flag is. 55-yard punt by Wilbur, but a nice return by Franklin.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 18 on the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
It's going to come back. The excellent return by Franklin and the block in the back by DeLone Williams.
And that's the block that actually sprung him, as the block is against Avery Atkins.
Big strong leg of Wilbur, the junior from Winter Park, Florida. Gators in control. 9:54 left.
If you're looking for answers from an auto parts store, get ready. Advance Auto Parts is working harder to help you save money by doing it yourself. Get ready for certified experts who are ready to help. Get ready for answers on any project you can easily understand. Get ready for in-depth information from Advance TV, our exclusive in-store how-to network. Get ready to go from no way to know how. For all the advice you'll ever need, the first place to go is Advance Auto Parts.
We're ready in advance. As the sweltering days of summer come to pass, the time comes for an event so momentous it can't be missed. The Toyota Time Clearance Event. To get a great deal, you have to start with great vehicles like Tacoma, the Motor Trend 2005 Truck of the Year. Or check out the Tundra Double Cab with the available XSP Sport Package. Offers extended. With available cash back and the Sport Package discount, get $4,000 in total savings. Catch astonishing Labor Day values now. When it comes to deals like these, everyone wins. That's moving you forward.
Light up the night with Rec Warehouse College Kickoff, the only Friday night college football show in the nation. Live this week, we preview Urban's first taste of the SEC against the Vols. Plus, we'll take you inside the I-4 war when the Knights and Bulls meet for an interstate battle. Start your Chevy tailgate Saturday weekend with Red Warehouse College Kickoff. Friday at 7, only on Sun Sports.
Florida leading Louisiana Tech 41-3 last week, defeating Wyoming out of the Mountain West Conference. Tonight's opponent from the WAC. Gators forced 2 turnovers last week against Wyoming and have intercepted 3 passes tonight against Louisiana Tech. First it was Kyle Jackson picking off Kubik, and then D. Webb on a deflection picking off Allen. And to cap it off, linebacker Todd McCullough with his first career interception in the right place at the right time, and then showing those sure hands, Matt Moore.
And shifty feet.
Yeah. Ball is on the 1. Allen almost a safety, but Jackson was able to motor out of the end zone just in the nick of time.
Good push by the defensive line as they push everything across the goal line. Just an outstanding run.
That's Alford, Latrell Alford again.
Yes, good job by Alford, big number 99 in the middle.
Well, these young guys they're getting after it here.
They're hungry. They want some playing time.
No gain. It's second down from the 1. Jackson again. This time he springs free across the 5 to the 7. Nice second effort by young running back from Louisiana Tech.
Just tucked in behind the pile and waited for some movement, and then as soon as he saw the back door open, he sprinted out to his right and picks up good yardage.
Gators secondary has Joyner and McCollum out there. Number 26 Jermaine in the game.
Number 4 Avery Atkins also getting some playing time here tonight.
Freshman from Daytona Beach. Third down. 4 yards to go for the Bulldogs. Allen tossing to Jackson. Jackson run down from behind by John Demps, the freshman. But a first down is picked up by Louisiana Tech to the 21-yard line.
Good play calling that time by the Louisiana Tech offensive coordinator as he gets his running back Jackson isolated on John Demps, the linebacker, one-on-one. You'll take this anytime, getting your speed back, isolated on the running back. Was not a good throw where Jackson had to turn and turn his whole body to make the catch, but knew what he needed for a first down, made sure of the catch.
First and 10 for the Bulldogs with 8 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Allen, pocket collapsing on him. He got away somehow and completes another pass out across the 25 to about the 29-yard line. About a 9-yard pickup.
Well, David, neither one of these quarterbacks for the Bulldogs have put up outstanding numbers, but you have seen that both of them have great athleticism and they throw the ball well on the run. That time Allen scrambles out to his right and gets the ball to his open receiver. Perfect pass.
They have had great passing games through the years. 3 of the last 5 years they've been in the top 10 in passing. Of course, they had Ryan Moats the last couple of years and tremendous running attack. Jackson hit and the ball dropped. Let's see if it's going to be ruled a fumble. It appears the Gators have recovered a fumble at the 26, and they have.
Ball recovered by Tony Joyner, the strong safety. Jackson hit it up in the middle. Gators get good pressure, stops it, and then knocks the ball out. Ball comes out. Looked like that was Joe Coyne in there, knocking the ball out. Here's another look at it down to ground level. As you can see, just as Jackson's going down, the ball comes out, and Joyner's right on top of him. Nice play by Tony Joyner, being alert, getting on the football.
Portis running the option. Keeps the football. Good decision as he carries it to the 20-yard line. Picks up 6 yards on the play.
But the good decision that time by Josh Portis was not pitching the football. And here's another look at Deshaun Wynn, who has had a monster of a ball game as he broke the game open early, got the Gators off to a good start, Ended up with 2 running touchdowns and then just a spectacular catch for his 3rd touchdown of the day. Outstanding afternoon for the young man.
Manson carries, and he's fighting for some more playing time. These young running backs, they saw what Deshaun Wynn did. Now they've got to get with it here. Thornton and Manson, and these fellas, Keyshawn Moore, the freshman.
Well,
David,
David,
competition.
You're so right. Deshaun Wynn has set the bar. Now, if you want some playing time, you've got to come on up. And, of course, Marcus Manson has shown times that he could be exciting, and then other times he's made some mistakes. So, you know, he needs to just learn to make the play when he got the opportunity and let it come to him. And so far tonight, he's playing a good ball game.
He really is. The injured player is Abrams. But while they look at him, it looks like he might have cramped up. Let's talk a little bit more about that running back position. Wynn did not play at all last week, and apparently serving some kind of unofficial suspension or whatever. The coaching staff trying to get him motivated. He came out tremendously motivated tonight. And so this running back situation, you got Tennessee next week. Steve, let's bring you in on this. What do you think about the Gator running attack and where Deshaun Wynn fits in right now?
Well, I think he has now made a statement that he's the #1 guy, and I think there's an importance to that because think about past years when the Gators have had good seasons, they've been able to have the #1 guy. You can go back to Ernest Graham back in 2002, 11 TDs, over 1,000 yards running. You knew he was the guy. When they needed the big play, it was Ernest Graham. You could go back to Rand Carthon back in 2003, 6 touchdowns, and he was a very good receiver as well as a runner. And then last year it was C4 who developed. The Gators have always had success when they've been able to have depth, but they got to have the guy. And right now, number 21, Wynn, is the guy.
So next week, Tennessee coming in here, you're going to see a lot of number 21. You think, Nat?
I think that was the old days, David. I think under Urban Meyer, the way they run their offense, you've got to have several guys. You've got to have several guys offensively that are receivers. You've got to have several guys that are going to be explosive in the backfield because you want to keep them fresh. You don't want to wear down one guy. And, you know, what we've seen out of Urban Meyer so far during the preseason is where everybody gets to play in crunch time versus just mop-up duty.
Portis options, pitches to Manson. Boy, a fine play by number 21, Kevin Moore. He came up there and broke it up. Manson looked like he might explode for big yardage.
But do you notice how Josh Portis runs this option? He holds the ball. Here's another look at it. Now watch him hold the ball. He forces Hamilton to play him before he pitches the football. Hamilton is trying to hold off the pitch and string it out. There he makes Hamilton take him as he turns upfield and then pitches the football. You know, this kid knows how to run the option.
Clock running inside of 5 minutes to play in the game. 3rd down play. Portis sacked back at the 20-yard line. A nice play by the linebacker, Jeremy Hamilton.
This here is Hamilton. He's going to come on a delayed blitz, and Josh Portis will see him out of the corner of his eyes. It's not, the Gators are not able to pick up the blitz. He's not able to spin out of it, but he was smart enough to pull the ball down and not turn it over.
You don't want to give Hamilton an unobstructed shot at you. He's a hard hitter. He knocked out Michigan State quarterback Jeff Smoker. I mean, knocked him out cold a couple of years ago in the game Louisiana Tech, Michigan State. 4th down, the Gators going for it here. And Portis throwing for the end zone for Casey. He got turned around and then couldn't bring it in.
Wow, this was an outstanding move by Tate Casey of making the adjustment because there was no way Josh Portis could lead him to the cornered end zone. He'd let him out of bounds. So he throws the ball back inside. Now watch the adjustment as he turns up, and he's just not able to make the catch. Normally, Tate Casey catches a bucket load of those.
A little upset with himself, the youngster out of Texas. And Gators still leading though. 41-3 in the 4th quarter.
This summer, go to Priceline for the best deals on airfare. Name your own price and save up to $100 off other leading travel sites on each ticket you buy.
That's it.
Only at the new Priceline.
Starting at $70, you'll find our shoes fit your budget almost as well as your feet.
Styles from dress to casual. Sizes from 8.5 to 14. Men's Warehouse.
You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Luxury when you want it. Hardcore, no-holds-barred fishability when you need it. Reliability. The bottom line when you're headed out to sea. You demand it all, and you can get it all in a Century boat. Backed by our 10-3-1 protection plan, Century boats have stood the test of time. Heritage, elegance, prestige. It's what you expect. It's what you've worked hard for. It's what you deserve. In a Century boat, you can demand it all.
Story of my life.
Introducing the revolutionary E-Tech from Evinrude.
Look at this!
Not only is it faster, lighter, and more powerful than any comparable four-stroke, it's also the cleanest outboard in the world.
Where's Ron? Check out the...
Nature will thank you.
Ron-tastic.
The Evinrude E-Tech. It's time you got it.
College football on Sun Sports has been brought to you in part by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. By Chevrolet, see your local Chevy dealer. Chevy, turn the key, start a revolution. Hot late afternoon, making way for a very pleasant evening here in North Central Florida. The Florida Gators and the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs late in the fourth period. Florida leading it 41-3. Don't forget, immediately following today's game and every Gator football game, you can tune in to Sun Sports for exclusive post-game coverage. It includes a press conference of Urban Meyer, player interviews, Todd Lewis down in the locker room, Will Watson anchoring in Orlando. That's tonight after the game and after every Gator game on Saturday night.
Well, David, here in the second half, the Gators have had the ball 6 times. They've come away with 3 touchdowns, had the punt twice, and that time turned the ball over on downs, but not able to get any points after getting a turnover at the 26-yard line of the Louisiana Tech will be discouraging when they look at the tapes.
Quarterbacks alternating tonight, Kubik and Allen. I have a history of some pretty good quarterbacks here at Louisiana Tech. These two guys are not bad, but recently you've had some others. Of course, pretty good basketball player. Karl Malone comes out of Louisiana Tech. They named their weight room after him.
Karl Malone, P.J. Brown, quite a few. And then when you start talking about
very nice, Matt Moore. You're an NBA guy.
Oh man, I love basketball. You know, and when you start thinking about how many folks they have from the WNBA, you know, Teresa Witherspoon, Cheryl Ford,
Carl's daughter. Yeah.
Yes, you're talking about a very rich heritage of athletes.
Pass is dropped. It'll be 4th down, and then quarterbacks Tim Rattay and Luke McNown in recent years, and Terry Bradshaw.
You know,
back in the late 60s.
Who is Tim Rattay? You know, give me the Hall of Famer.
Rattay.
That's what I mean. I don't even know who he is. He played for the 49ers or something.
Bradshaw's back in your day.
Well, Bradshaw is
pretty good.
Hall of Famer. Yeah. I mean, he could play. Yeah, they've produced quite a few of tremendous athletes and especially quarterbacks.
Well, they've only been Division I since 1989, and they started as an independent. They played several years as an independent. They were in the Big West Conference, then independent again, then joined the WAC 4 years ago. But it seems geographically they would be a better fit in Conference USA, but they find themselves in the WAC. Here's another shank by the freshman punter. Florida will get good field position. There's Jack Bignell, his dad, head coach at Boston College. Jack coached for his dad at Boston College.
Yeah, worked for his dad, and his dad is also the head coach of the Barcelona team in the NFL Europe. So, you know, comes from a good bloodline when it comes to coaching.
Good young coach, Steve Babick.
Oh, very good. That was great when he pointed out that he was the center back in that great play from Flutie to Phelan, the Hail Mary play that everybody remembers.
Yeah, that one's etched in the minds of just about every college football fan, I am sure. What, does Marcus Manson want the football or what?
Man, he has got some quicks, and that time, if he could have just gotten the umpire out of the way, he's going over the left side of the offensive line. He's going to bring it right back in there. Watch that. Just on his own, he sees the hole. If he could get the umpire out the way, he might have took that into the house, David. I mean, he's got some quicks.
Yeah, he does. New quarterback for the Gators is Cornelius Ingram. Young man, a local product out of nearby Hawthorne. Manson running free again, running over the defender at about the 25. He moved one defender about 5 yards upfield.
And David, you don't run like this. You don't have those kind of gaps to run through unless that offensive line is doing a good job. And that offensive line is coming off the ball. Steve Rissler, the center. Carlton Metter, as well as big Jason Watkins, a redshirt freshman out of Lakeland. Good movement on that left side.
Ingram hands off to Manson again. He is hit near the line of scrimmage, but picks up several yards to around the 16.
And what happens, David, as you can see, Manson is starting to look toward the sideline. He's had the ball 3 times in a row. He's not used to that. It's early in the season. He's a little winded right now.
Yeah, you're fighting for playing time. You don't want to come off the field.
You don't want to come off the field, but you know that you're tired.
Deshaun Wynn already done with 101 yards rushing. As Ingram going to try and keep. And not much happening there. Linebacker Quinn Harris, freshman from Visalia, California, 37 on the tackle for Louisiana Tech, who are on the road again next week, Nat, against Kansas. They play an aggressive schedule. Last year they played Miami, Auburn, and Tennessee. It's not that bad this year for them. They're at Florida and at Kansas, and their other road games are Nevada in their conference, Utah State, Idaho, and Fresno State, a team they beat last year, number 17 in the nation when Louisiana Tech beat them.
But back then they had Ryan Moats, who is one heck of a football player that's now with the Philadelphia Eagles. I think he was a third-round draft choice.
Yeah. Manson now with 68 yards to go with Wynn's 101. Well, let's take a look at tonight's Steak and Shake play of the game. Brought to you by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers.
And it's Deshaun Wynn with this hookup for a touchdown from Chris Leak as he catches the ball right in front of Bo Cox. He's shown all evening that he could run the football, but then he shows you how well he catches the football as well.
That will be the final play of the football game as the Gators run out the clock and lock up an impressive 41-3 win against the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. And if not for offensive mistake, the Bulldogs would not have scored any points at all tonight. Very impressive for Urban Meyer in his second game. Let's go to the field and Steve Babick.
All right, thanks very much, guys. Coach Meyer, congratulations on the win.
Thank you for attending.
And your thoughts on what were some of the things you liked tonight?
I'd like to for safety on your way home.
What were some of the things out there tonight you liked?
Oh, that we won the game. No, that's I got to go evaluate the chance. We got play some young guys. That's always good this time of year. We better get it together though for next week. Big time ball game next week.
About Deshaun Wynn, what did he do to help you decide if he's your #1 guy?
Oh, you know, he runs hard. He's a powerful, talented guy that you know he provides a little bit of a weapon for us.
Defense turnovers. The guys picked up some 3 more interceptions today.
Yeah, they did a nice defense. Right now, no one scored on our defense. That was Chris Leak's fumble, and then we had 2 scores on our special teams. So, all right, as far as I'm concerned, our defense has pitched a shutout for 2 games. Pretty good deal.
Now, Coach, okay to focus on Tennessee now?
Right now, baby.
All right, you heard it. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, the old shortstop in baseball, offensive back in football, a great athlete, a great leader of this Florida football team, Nat. He's got to feel pretty good right now.
Well, he feels fantastic, but the thing that you notice, he says, we got the win. It's time to think about Tennessee. You know, not time to sit here and congratulate yourself. You got to worry about what's coming up next week, and that's the boys from Rocky Top.
Well, a great passing game last week, Nat, and a great running game here tonight. The balance, is it there for next week against Tennessee? Do you think the Gator offense is where it would like to be in week 3?
I think they're close. I think they're going to make some corrections, especially the mistakes with the penalties that stop drives. But overall, I think they're close to where they want to be. Today they threw it well and they ran it well.
Another big night for Chris Leak. He throws for over 200 yards. Deshaun Wynn runs for over 100 yards. Terrific balance. The Gators win it 41-3. Thanks for joining us. Turn to Sun Sports now for Gator postgame. We'll hear the coach's press conference, player interviews coming up. We'll see you over at Sun Sports in just a moment. For Nat Moore, I'm David Steele along with Steve Babbitt. So long. Thanks for watching the game from Gainesville.
Hi, I'm Danny Werfel. I've got a lot of great memories from my playing days here at the Swamp. And like Gators everywhere, I'm excited about the future too. If you want to keep up with the Gators, your best combination is Fightin' Gators magazine and GatorCountry.com. Fightin' Gators is filled with in-depth features you can't find anywhere else. And it fits perfectly with GatorCountry.com, the #1 website for diehard Gators. To subscribe to Fightin' Gators, call 888-979-0979 or check out GatorCountry.com.
What?
Feel the energy move through.
Kevin!
What?
Come here!
Combine services from Sprint and Save so you can do things you really enjoy, like downloading videos.
What?
Come here!
Combine Sprint high-speed internet with unlimited local and nationwide long-distance calling for under $75 a month. Call, click, or come by.
The following is a presentation of Gator Vision.
There's the snap. Kubik dropping back, looking to throw. Fires down the left sideline. It is going to be a beautiful catch. Oh, my! An interception on a beautiful catch by Kyle Jackson.
It's Florida football with Urban Meyer. Now, here's the voice of the Gators, Mick Hubert.
Hi again, everybody, and thank you for joining us. I'm Mick Hubert, along with Gator football coach Urban Meyer. We welcome you to Florida football. The Gators a big winner over Louisiana Tech Saturday night by a score of 41-3. Urban, congratulations. A balanced offense, a great defensive effort. I know you got to be happy.
You got to be real happy because we're 2-0. That's the bottom line, and you know, we're awful appreciative of our fans, and the people that came out for Gator Walk again was outstanding. And you know, I'd like to personally thank the students that stick around and see enough fights on with us. That's a special moment. I know our players really enjoy it, and I think the students are really getting into it.
Well, the defensive effort was very solid. As we mentioned, you had 4 takeaways, and they got only, 10 first downs, 45 yards rushing. Those are pretty good numbers.
We've played 8 very good quarters. You think we've had 3 scores against our defense, and offensively, we had our quarterback let one go, and they recovered the ball on the plus side of the 50-yard line. Last week, we had 2 special teams issues. In my mind, our defense is pitching a shutout. Anytime you can, not one time in the 2005 season have I felt like our defense was giving up too many chunks of yardage. So very, very pleased with our defensive effort.
The offense had some balance and more rushing yards than passing yards.
We had to. We were not going to leave that game unless we ran for 200 yards, and we made that clear to our offensive line and our tailbacks, and they answered the challenge. I thought Deshaun Wynn ran the ball hard. I thought Marcus Manson came in there after I saw the tape. He ran. Don't forget Marcus Manson around here. He's a talented guy that's just got to grow up a little bit, but we have some talented backs.
Gators a big winner, 41-3, and we'll come back and show you the exciting highlights when we continue in just a moment.
Florida football with Urban Meyer is brought to you in part by these great sponsors. Wachovia, the official financial services sponsor of the Gator Sports Network. By Shands Healthcare, UF and Shands, the science of hope. By Alltel. Ask about anytime plan changes or visit alltel.com. By Florida Concrete Block Homes. You make it home, we'll make it strong. By Florida Pest Control. Florida Pest Control and Termidor, America's #1 termite defense. By Red Baron Pizza, the official pizza sponsor of the Florida Gators. By Simply Orange, the official orange juice sponsor of the Gator Network. By Dairy Farmers Incorporated. Got milk? And by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Tradition is part of this game. Great traditions last because they're based on the fundamentals of hard work, preparation, and the will to win. That's the Gator tradition, and that's why Simply Orange has become a tradition for the Gators. It's all about the fundamentals. Pure, quality, 100% orange juice. Not flavored, not sweetened, not from concentrate. A simply fresh squeeze taste experience. Simply Orange, simply unfooled around with.
The official Gator Sports Shop for Gator clothing and more. Call 1-800-34-GATOR or log on to GatorZone.com. Remember, real Gators shop where real Gators play.
Albert.
Also, you can change your rate plan whenever you need to without changing your contract. I'll be right here.
When Alltel lets you change your rate plan without extending your contract, what's not to love?
Yes, it's on. Word is born till the break of dawn. Got the mic in my hand and the crowd is mine. Let me spit it to you one more time.
With its heavy power and muscular styling.
Nice car, mister.
Nice bike.
It can make anyone feel like one bad dude. Charger, unleashed.
Hi, I'm head football coach Urban Meyer. We all want to see the Gators be successful, and that means following NCAA rules, especially when it comes to recruiting student athletes. Remember, ask before you act.
Another beautiful night in the swamp and another big crowd, 90,099 on hand to watch the Gators. Louisiana Tech, a 41-3 Gator victory.
Our defense played great all night. Here's Jeremy Mincy making a play, and Jeremy Mincy's our defensive captain. He does this in practice. He's a consistent, intense player.
Second offensive play for the Gators. Deshaun Wynn comes in.
Well, we come out, we run a little unbalanced formation there and run a quick pitch to Deshaun, and he turns on his jets. He's a powerful runner. The guy you notice there is Mike DeGore, our offense line. You know, we have 4 seniors in that group, and I thought they played well all night.
And then Deshaun Wynn gets it in on a 4th and goal.
Yeah, 4th and goal. We're not going to kick down here. This is a tempo setter, our offense line. We, you know, everybody in the stadium, including Louisiana Tech, knew we were going to run the ball right there, but we had to make a point, and I thought Deshaun dropped his pads and showed 230 pounds in the end zone.
He had 64 yards rushing in the first quarter.
Now here to play great defense here, and this is a pass breakup by Reggie Lewis, who's played well during training camp, and we need him to keep playing like this. This, in my mind, is play of the day. This is Kyle Jackson reading the eyes of the safety of the quarterback and makes a big-time interception. We had 3 turnovers by the DBs.